A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Fresh, the new cream deodorant, presents David Harding's Counterspy. Washington, calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington, calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy, calling Washington.
David Harding, Counterspy, is brought to you by Fresh. Fresh, the new cream deodorant that stops perspiration worries safely. Switch to Fresh, to be sure. 2 weeks ago, Charles Pierce, a man in his early 30s, immaculately dressed, slight, with piercing eyes, stood in the hallway of a large gray stone apartment building in Baltimore. With him was a young woman, Dora Lester.
I do not feel this is good, Charles.
It's the biggest opportunity we ever had, Dora.
You have never met this man.
Oh, I know all about him, though. He is in command.
You're very strange in my stomach. A woman's intuition.
That's enough. We're paid well to take chances.
You do not think this is a trick? You have your gun?
Mm-hmm. Always. But I won't need it, Dora. It's a great honor to meet him. His espionage work is known all over the world. For 2 years, he was in command of all Gestapo agents in Spain. Yes? Mr. Peddler? Yes? We received your message to come here. When? Day before yesterday. We were in Boston. Come in. Come over to the table. Just sit down, please. Now, she will establish your identity. Now, this is my lady friend, Dora Lester. She worked with me under Hunt. Just a moment. Remove your hat, Dora.
Why, yes.
Uh-huh. This picture's a very good likeness of you.
You've got a picture of me? When was it taken?
The important part is that it was taken for identification. So you used the name Charles Pierce. You wish some identification, Mr. Burley? Unnecessary. I was standing unobserved right at the desk of the hotel when you signed in last night. Wanted to see your handwriting. Well, no wonder, Mr. Burley, you're famous for your precautions. From now on, you two will take orders from me. Come along.
May I ask where we are going?
To the 8th floor balcony of a certain building. You'll be very surprised at what you see.
A person could very easily fall to his death from this balcony. Couldn't he, Mr. Burley?
Very easily, Dora. Now, Charles, see that long, low building over there? The one fenced in with the barbed wire? Yeah. That building is the United States Government Laboratory. It covers these 2 acres. And the guards who are patrolling there? Just a moment, till I close the fire door. There are 12 guards there, night and day. There's a beam of an electric eye which goes all around the building. Automatic protective devices of every description.
So they protect and gold?
Something even more valuable. Bugs.
Bugs?
You're fooling.
No. There are bugs in there worth as much as $5,000 each.
I hate bugs.
I couldn't hate any bug worth $5,000.
What is the mystery of them, Mr. Burley?
One of the greatest allies of the Japanese, disease caused by jungle bugs. Disease Americans have never experienced. Well, the United States government has had hundreds of specialists capturing these odd bugs in the Pacific.
Oh.
These bugs are brought to this country and placed in that building. Each species, specially heated rooms, tropical conditions, their own special food. And they're bred there. Millions of them.
You mean they keep all of the bugs there so the United States can experiment on them to develop poison sprays to kill each different kind?
Exactly. New poisonous sprays could not be developed to kill these bugs if there were not thousands of those different species to experiment on. The breeding of some of these bugs is a very complicated process.
For instance, Mr. Burley, the United States Marines land on an island.
Yes, and possibly in 24 hours, a certain percentage of the Marine invaders will be suffering from sickness caused by some kind of a bite from these little-known bugs. Each island, each jungle is hundreds of different kinds.
But suppose the Marines do know about the bugs before they land. What can they do about it?
If a certain poisonous spray has been developed, effective against the type of bugs they know they will encounter, American planes fly over the island with thousands of gallons of the spray. Spray the jungles, many of the bugs will be destroyed.
No wonder those bugs in that laboratory are valuable.
But the way that laboratory is guarded, it would be impossible to get near it or destroy the bugs.
Impossible for anyone but me. See that building just at the end of the laboratory?
Yeah.
That is a scientific library, and it is open to medical students who wish to do research there on insecticides.
Is it guarded?
Certainly. The guard at the door. He searches everyone when they enter or leave. The guard's name is Connors.
Connors.
In the evening when he's off duty, Connors often drinks beer down the street over at that restaurant with a sign.
Yeah.
You have to meet him. Find out what his hobbies are. What he eats. What he likes. Then report to me by telephone. Hello?
Mr. Burley?
Yes?
That gentleman you asked me to meet.
Yes?
I've become quite friendly with him. His hobby is, dogs.
Dogs?
Yes. He talks about them by the hour.
Very interesting.
What shall I do?
Come to my apartment at 11 tonight. When you visit the scientific library again tomorrow, I will have had something planned.
Hello, Connors.
Hi, Charlie. Well, of all the times you've come to the library here, you didn't tell me you owned a dog.
How do you like him?
Come here, boy. Come here. Hey, that's a peach of a dog. Belgian Shepherd. Boy, let's see your mouth.
You liking dogs so much, Connors, you sold me the idea. So I bought this one.
About 2 years old, huh?
Uh-huh.
Now you got something.
Yeah, and he's highly trained. I don't want to lose out on my reading at the library here, so can't I take him in with me and tie him to the leg of a chair?
Well, I don't know if I should let you, but... Yeah, that dog's almost human, ain't he?
How about it?
Okay, take him in with you. Hey, Charlie. Wait a minute.
Yeah?
I got a section, you know.
still have to after knowing me so well?
This library section's right next to the scientific laboratory, you know. I wouldn't let my own mother in without searching it.
Okay.
Arms up.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Okay. You threw a thorough guard, Connors.
I got 2 kids in the Pacific. You bet I'm thorough. Okay, Charlie. If you keep them quiet, you can take them in.
You know, Dora, this dog doesn't like Mr. Burley's apartment here.
I can see from the way he looks, Charlie.
Now, Charles.
Yes, sir?
For 3 weeks now, you've been taking this dog into the library next to the laboratory. You sure the guard likes the dog?
Connors? Crazy about it.
That ammo potassium I gave to the dog.
Really made him look good and fit.
Oh, yeah. His nose was hot and dry, his eyes glassy.
Mm-hmm. And you did not bring the dog's apparent sickness to the attention of Tom.
Oh, no. I was just going into the scientific library with the dog when he looked at him and he said, your dog's sick, Charlie. Give him sulfathiazole. And if I was you, I'd put a blanket on him for a couple of days. Keep him bundled up.
Perfect. So the guard himself suggested the blanket.
Sure did.
Wonderful.
Easy, boy, easy. Come here.
It's our big moment, Charlie. The climax. Now, this pentolite.
Pentolite? What's that?
It's an explosive more powerful than TNT.
Explosive?
That's right. And a little time watch. That'll set it off.
You'll
We'll throw the explosive and the time watch right into the underside of the dog's blanket.
Well,
You'll walk into the library with a sick dog that the guard Connors has got a weakness for. He'll search you. And with his type of mind, you'll never think to feel under the dog's heavy blanket. Because he himself suggested the blanket.
Yeah. But what about me?
You'll tie the dog to a leg of a chair in the library. The time watch will set the charge off at exactly 11. At 5 minutes of 11, make an excuse. Walk out. Disappear.
A dream is such a thing.
I'll blow the library and the laboratory with all its expensive bugs off the face of the earth. It'll take them years to collect and breed new ones.
It seems like the dog knows what's going on.
Tomorrow morning, Charles. Take the dog in a taxi cab. Drive right to the laboratory. We'll have enough explosive wrapped around him to blow a city to kingdom come.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to that part of our program known as Be Fresh or Be Fired. Yes, the Be Fresh or Be Fired department. Maybe you might want to call it the Be Fresh or Be Lonely department. Well, anyhow, it's a quiz corner where a fresh answer is always welcome. First question.
Why do you refer to 4 o'clock in the working day as the time when you're apt to come up against the deodorant deadline?
And the answer?
Because when you're working, an embarrassing deodorant failure is more likely to happen toward the day's end. When you're out on a date at night, 10 o'clock is another sort of 0 hour. But why be worried? Switch to that new cream deodorant Fresh, to be sure.
Second, a man's question. Is using Fresh a sissy thing to do?
And the answer?
Well, Fresh is a big seller among GIs and post exchanges all around the world.
That's plenty answer.
Which brings us to a question frequently asked.
I get conflicting advice from people I know on how to be sure of personal daintiness. I'm confused.
Well, friends, as many famous beauty editors and authorities on good grooming can tell you, modern science has the answer, and Fresh brings it to you. In Fresh, you get the benefit of the most effective perspiration-stopping ingredient known to science. Fresh contains an exclusive ingredient. Fresh cream deodorant stops perspiration worries completely and safely. It's safe for you and for your clothing. It's creamy and smooth, not sticky, doesn't dry out, and it's never gritty. So it's a pleasure to switch to fresh, to be sure. Now back to David Harding, Counterspy.
Driver, pull up right in front of the scientific library. Right next to the laboratories there.
Okay, buddy. What's the matter with your dog? Got the pip?
Not feeling good.
I was wondering why you had a blanket on him in this hot weather. 55, mister.
Let me get my dog out first. Come on, boy. Get out. Get out.
He seems to like staying in my cab, huh?
Get out. Come on.
Hey, I guess he sees the big dog the woman's got over there.
Got change of $1?
Oh, sure. I guess the big police dog over there don't like your dog.
Stop it. Hey,
that woman's having trouble holding her dog.
Hey, hold on to your dog. Don't bring him over here.
He's stronger than I am.
There's gonna be some action.
Hey, hold on to that dog. Boy, come here.
You're too late, mister.
Hey, you gotta hold that dog.
It's too far away. I can't.
Come on, boy. Come here.
He's lost him.
Immediately to street in front of Baltimore Experimental Laboratories. There has been a big explosion on sidewalk, blowing taxicab and 2 or more persons to pieces. Emergency.
Harding speaking. All roving Washington Counterspy investigators leave for Baltimore immediately. Emergency. Explosion in front of government laboratories.
Everett, I want you to leave for Baltimore with me at once.
This is the craziest case I ever heard of, Mr. Harding. Why would anybody want to blow up the street in front of the government experimental laboratory? You think it was an attempt to blow up the laboratory and it went wrong?
Definitely. The guard in the research laboratory saw it happen. And the explosion resulted from a dogfight.
A dogfight?
The most fantastic thing. We're up against a very unusual mind, Everett.
Anything left from the explosion to examine?
Nothing. The man who had one of the dogs, the woman who had the other dog, the taxicab driver, all were blown to bits. It was a terrific explosion. As soon as we reach Baltimore, we'll set up a thorough investigation. Baltimore field office, Harding speaking.
We located the kennels, Mr. Harding, where the dog was bought. Man came in, bought the dog without leaving his name or address.
What do our agents report from the scene of the explosion?
Another thing. It must have been a terrific explosion.
What about the man who drove the taxi?
He's a discharged veteran, good American.
Oh? Well, Everett, this is one of the most uniquely conceived plots.
There just isn't any starting point.
Let me think a minute. We've got to find the starting point. These agents will make another attempt to destroy that laboratory.
What are your orders, sir?
Enemy agents had a dog. They now don't have a dog.
We could start a house-to-house canvass.
Well, it'll take us months. Come back to the field office, Everett. I've got an idea. We'll work out of here.
I'm feeling very nervous, Mr. Burley. Can't we leave this apartment and go someplace?
What time is it, Dora?
Almost midnight.
All right. We'll go out to eat.
Seems funny not having Charlie around.
Don't mention that fool.
He bungled my whole plan.
Has the newspaper said anything about the explosion?
Just one little item. The government must have clamped down and censored it.
You're going to try some other way to destroy the laboratory?
Of course. But this time I'll do it myself. You're rather pretty, Dora.
I like you, too. Who's that? You don't suppose Charlie really wasn't killed?
Oh, strange this time of night.
I'm frightened.
Stop it. I didn't leave one possible clue. Yes?
Are you Mr. Burley who lives here?
Yes?
I'm David Harding of the United States Counterspy. This is one of my agents, Mr. Everett.
May we come in, Mr. Burley?
Why, yes, come in. This is Miss Dora Lester, a friend of mine.
How do you do, Miss Lester? This is Mr. Everett.
How do you do?
Miss Lester?
May I ask why you're called, Mr. Harding?
Well, 3 days ago, Mr. Burley, there was a dog which caused an explosion in front of the Baltimore Scientific Laboratory.
Why, that's strange.
Yes. Very strange, Mr. Burley. In fact, peculiar. These are government orders. Neither one of you is to move.
Just a minute. No minute at all. I'm frisking you. No gun. Ever check, Miss Lester?
No gun either.
Mr. Harding, your attitude is uncalled for.
Mr. Burley, my men have been covering Baltimore. Restaurants, meat markets, pet shops, formulas, everything. Well, we found a restaurant right across the street where a man had been buying food for a dog every day. He hasn't bought any such food for the last 3 days.
I suppose you're referring to me.
Yes.
Well, what am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to do some pretty tall explaining. Where is your dog, Mr. Burley?
He died.
Oh?
He didn't die by being blown to bits, did he, Mr. Burley?
No. My dog died a natural death.
I see. Well, when a dog does die a natural death, of course, there's always the body. Isn't there?
Why, yes.
Where is your dog's body, Mr. Burley?
Well, I was very attached to him. I took him and buried him in the country.
Suppose you show us where.
At this time of night?
Yes.
All right.
Must I drive out, too?
I'm afraid, Miss Lester, you must. David Harding will be back in a moment. But meanwhile, what do you think is the best advice to give to a young lady who says,
You know, when my lipstick has gone back on me, or when it's worn off or maybe kissed off, my little mirror is a good friend. It always warns me. But when my deodorant has gone back on me, nothing or no one will warn me. What's a girl to do?
Well, friends, as many famous beauty editors and experts on good grooming and personal charm can tell you, modern science has the answer, and Fresh brings it to you. Yes, Fresh contains the most effective perspiration-stopping ingredient known. Fresh contains an exclusive ingredient. Fresh stops perspiration worries completely and safely. Ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of you, someday, sometime, may reach your deodorant deadline. The deodorant you are using may suddenly stop working. Why take chances? For lasting protection, switch to Fresh. To be sure that
Fresh. Fresh.
Now, back to David Harding, Counterspy.
Would you like me to help your raisins in the digging, Mr. Harding?
They're doing all right, thank you, Mr. Burley. I'll just switch the beam of the searchlight, Everett.
I feel like I'm going to faint.
Keep still, Dora. You evidently don't believe me about burying my dog here, Mr. Harding.
I'm afraid I don't, Mr. Burley.
Look, Mr. Harding. There is something down there.
What? Everett, dig a little more right there.
Right. Can you beat that? What do you think, Chief?
Let me focus the flashlight. Mr. Burley, I apologize.
Well, let's forget it.
I thought your whole story of burying your dog here was preposterous.
Well, I've had a dog for quite a while. 3 days ago, he got taken with cramp. He died before I could get a doctor. I felt so badly, I brought him here and buried him in this field.
Miss Lester, we owe you an apology also.
I'm so nervous and upset, frightened me so the way you came into the apartment.
We do make mistakes sometimes, and this is one. Well, we'll just have to start from the beginning again. Look for another clue. I'll arrange immediately, Mr. Burley, for one of my agents to drive you and Miss Lester back to your apartment.
Seems so good to be back in the apartment again. The fool driver running out of gas.
Only we're being upset from your experience tonight, Doris?
Yes, Mr. Burley, I guess so.
Everyone makes mistakes, you know. Even Mr. Harding. He'd be a very charming man.
I don't see how you ever found in that darkness where you buried that dog.
Oh, that was simple.
That was a dirty trick you pulled on me, Burley.
I'm not in the habit of telling everyone everything.
You could have told me that you killed another dog and buried him out there. How do you think I felt all that time when you were claiming you did? And I thinking as soon as we got out there wouldn't be any dog's grave and we'd be caught.
You might as well learn to trust my judgment. Now go into your room and get cleaned up. We'll go out to a restaurant and get something to eat.
Charles used to tell me everything he was doing.
And Charles spoiled my whole plan and got himself blown to pieces.
Just the same, we had fun together and we...
Get your hands up, both of you.
What's the meaning of this?
Put your hands out. These cuffs are going on you.
Wait a minute. I can explain.
You've already done your explaining, Burley. I hoped you wouldn't suspect anything when my agent pretended to run out of gas while bringing you two back to the apartment. It gave me time to go to the police station and see if anyone during the past 3 days had lost a black shepherd dog with a tooth missing from the lower right jaw.
What does that prove?
It proves that when your other dog was blown to pieces, you didn't dare go to the kennels and buy another. So you looked until you could steal one. You killed him and buried him out there just in case there was some slip and you were approached.
Will I be put in prison if I tell everything I know?
Shut up, you fool.
What I'd like to do to you, Burley, is throw you to a whole kennel of dogs. They give you what you deserve. But instead, you're going to go to the electric chair.
And a lot of men will be coming home from the Pacific who wouldn't be if your fiendish plan had worked.
Burley, consider yourself under arrest by the United States government for espionage and murder. And now here is Mr. Harding to tell you about next week's case. I have before me a report of a German minesweeper which has just sailed into an Atlantic port and given itself up. I have here a report of a suspect living at an expensive, exclusive summer hotel overlooking that same port. This girl has recently fallen in love. And here's a report of a body just found in the same harbor. All these things don't happen like that unless they're carefully planned. This case is an emergency. We're leaving to investigate it immediately. Here's a startling, exciting account of this case. Wednesday, August 1st, same time, same station. David Harding, Counterspy. Harding Counterspy is brought to you by Fresh. Fresh, the new cream deodorant that stops perspiration worries safely. Switch to Fresh to be sure. David Harding Counterspy is a Philip H. Lloyd production for Fresh, the new cream deodorant. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
The makers of Old Nick.
Old Nick? Oh, boy, Old Nick is a wonderful candy bar.
And Bit of Honey.
Bit of honey? It's a honey, honey, honey of a candy bar.
Presents David Harding, Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy, calling Washington.
Before we begin today's Counterspy case, Sally, let's try another experiment in psychology with Bit of Honey Candy Bar.
Like the one they reported in Life magazine a while back when we did mental telepathy for Old Nick?
Yes, except today, just for fun, let's try conditioned reaction. Jesse Crawford will help us. And now, in the Bit of Honey song, these 4 notes stand for the words Bit of Honey. Those notes are the musical symbol for the words Bit of Honey. In a few seconds, our listeners will find that little tune brings the same sense of delicious satisfaction that is now produced by the words Bit of Honey. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, is always fine, but especially in the summertime. You see, has a distinctive mild honey flavor sprinkled all through. Our crunchy crushed almonds, the separate wrapping of the 6 generous pieces in a candy bar, makes it extra easy and convenient to eat in summertime. What's more, the unusual zesty flavor of candy bar is especially appropriate to warm weather. Try for yourself wherever fine candy is sold. Ask for Candy Bar this evening if you can. You'll agree that, yes, Bit of Honey is a honey, honey, honey of a candy bar, and only 5 cents. On last April 11th, Mary Linton, a dark-complexioned woman of 30 with intense, piercing eyes, stood in the center of the large Brooklyn garage which she owned, watching several men work on some late-model automobiles. Cora Linton, her younger sister, and a very pretty girl, watched the repair work for a moment and then turned to Mary.
Mary? Mary? Sorry, Cora. You saying something?
Yeah, I think I'm going to trot off to the movies.
Stick around for a while, Cora.
Oh, but Mary, I don't do anything.
Stick around. I'm expecting Jack Taylor soon.
Mary, you know how I feel about Jack.
And I know how Jack feels about you. Stay put. Say hello to him.
I hate him. He's a good
He's all right. If you'll stick with me, he's going to have a good future. Besides, he's crazy about you.
Oh, please, Mary,
That must be Jack now. All right. Open her up, Tony.
Hiya, Mary.
Hello, Jack.
Cora. Wow, you're waiting for me, beautiful?
No, I was just...
She stayed to say hello to you, Jack.
Oh, Mary, what do you think of this car? It's a real beaut, ain't she?
Buick, 1942 Deluxe.
Uh-huh.
Good enough. Cora, didn't I tell you Jack is a smart boy?
Yeah.
You can't be a dodo and pick up cars like this, Cora. You know, Mary, the sucker didn't even leave his keys in the ignition. I had to switch wires to start it. And it only took me 50 seconds flat.
For that 50 seconds work, you're going to get $250.
$250? Hey, this car's worth $1,800.
If you had a bill of sale for it, Jack. Now, I got to have the serial numbers changed, switch parts, ship the car out of the country. $250 is a good price for a hot car.
Don't sound like much. I'll take it on one condition.
What's that?
Cora helps me spend it.
No, Sure she will, Jack. Come on inside the office. I'll give you the money. Got your rye, Cora.
I don't want anything to drink, Mary.
Suit yourself.
I wish you'd listen when I want to say something.
I know what you're going to say. You don't like the racket we're in.
Yes. Be nice to those crooks. How can you do this to me, Mary?
Look, my darling sister, in my own funny way, I love you.
Sure.
I want you to be nice to Jack Taylor because the staff brings me $1,800 cars for $250. But if Jack or anybody gets fresh with you, I'll put a bullet in him myself.
But it's not only Jack. I'm scared of the cops and the counterspies. If we're caught,
I'll see that you slip out. Meanwhile, the racket is paying for this swell apartment, all our clothes, anything we want.
Honest, Mary, I'd rather go to work.
Doing what? You can't even type. Forget it. Let me do the work. I'll take that. Yep.
Miss Linton?
Which one?
Mary Linton.
Speaking.
Miss Linton, my name is Sam French. I'm from Chicago.
So?
A mutual friend of ours told me to look you up.
Who is it?
Alf Burton.
Yeah? Alf Burton's a very good friend of mine.
Alf and I are buddies. Can I come over to see you?
Why not? We'll be home. You've got the address, I suppose?
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Who is that, Mary?
A man named Sam French from Chicago. He says Alf Burton sent him.
Who?
Alf Burton, Chicago. You don't know him. Anybody he sends over should be all right, I guess.
Not sure,
Nothing like making sure, Cora. We're going to check before we get chummy.
Mary Linton?
Oh, no, I'm Cora Linton, his sister.
Oh.
Mary's inside. Won't you come in?
Thank you. If your sister's as beautiful as you...
Don't move, Mr. French.
I don't understand. What's your gun for?
I'll tell you in a minute. Cora, see if Mr. French has a gun.
All right. Yes, he has one.
Take it.
I have it.
Now step away from Mr. French. Now, Mr. French, you may walk into the living room.
I still don't understand. I'm a friend of Alf Burton.
That's what you say, Mr. French. I want to hear it myself from Alf Burton. I'm fine, Alf. Look, the reason I'm phoning you, did you send up a friend to see me?
Sure did, Mary. Smart boy named Sam French.
Well, there's a guy here now who claims he's Sam French. What does he look like?
About 5 feet 9 to 10, blue eyes, straight, short nose.
So far, so good?
Nice-looking boy with them blue eyes and blonde hair.
Hold it. What'd you say about his hair?
Wait, I forgot to tell you.
Don't move. Try that again and I'll blast you. Alf, what'd you say was the color of Sam French's hair?
Blonde, color of straw, can't miss it.
Man here is dark-haired, black.
Hold it. Now, wait a minute. Just give me a chance to talk with you.
Talk fast, Mr.
My hair's dyed. I had to fool the police. I didn't want them to know I was going to New York. Examine my hair. You'll see it's dyed.
Oh, Mary, maybe he's telling the truth. He's got blue eyes.
Don't move. Hello, Alf. I'm not sure of this man. Anything more definite I can identify?
Yeah, come to think of it, there is.
Sam French has a little strawberry mark on his left arm. Try to get it off once. There's an acid mark around.
No, I'll see. You, roll up your left sleeve.
That's right, my birthmark. I'm going to hold it off.
Cora, don't get in front of him. Just see what he's got on his left arm.
Oh. That's a small red mark, a birthmark. There's a scar around it.
Well, your hair could be dyed. Thanks, Al. Drop in when you're in New York. Guess you're all right, Sam.
Whew. I wouldn't want to go through that again.
Sorry. I had to be sure.
You're a smart dame, Mary. Like Al said. Just the kind of dame I want to hook up with.
We can talk about that at dinner. I know a nice place where we can talk. We owe you a treat for that scare. Anything else you like, Sam? Cora?
Nothing, Mary.
Not a thing, Mary. Now, can I get down to business?
Sure. What's on your mind?
I'm looking for a New York contact, Mary. Like you. I can pick up cars in Chicago and points west and ship them to New York.
What makes you think I'm interested?
Well, Burton tells me you've got some swell outlets. Mexico, South America.
I managed to get rid of my cars.
You could make plenty getting rid of my cars.
Sure. But there's something else.
What?
The Cicero mob.
So?
Who's running the Cicero mob now?
Nobody knows.
Oh, whoever he is, he's a smart operator. The Cicero mob is my main competition. We run into each other.
That's what's worrying you?
They're tough. What do you think's going to happen to you, Sam, if you steal cars in their territory and ship them to me?
I'll take my chances. I got a few boys of my own who are plenty tough. We'll handle the Cicero mob if we have to.
All right. It'll be your funeral.
And you'll take my shipments?
As many as you can deliver.
Good. You'll get my first shipment when I get back to Chicago.
When'll that be?
That depends on Cora.
Me? I don't understand.
I'd like to spend a few days in New York. That is, if you show me around, Cora.
Oh, really, Sam?
Sure, Cora will step out with you, Sam. You'll be glad to, won't you, Cora?
I didn't know you could drive this well, Cora.
Well, this car drives itself. Where'd you get it, Mr. French?
I bought it. I wouldn't drive a stolen car.
Certainly a bit of honey of a car.
Turn into that dirt road ahead.
Why?
It's a shortcut. Now stop.
I will not.
No? Then I will. I'll take the key.
Sam, please.
Better relax, Cora. I won't hurt you.
Sam, please give me that key. When I tell Mary, she's not going to like this, Sam.
But you're not going to tell her.
Sam, she'll kill you, I swear.
I can take care of myself. What's more, I'm going to take care of you.
Sam, you wouldn't.
That's not what you think. I'm just going to, sort of hold you in protective custody.
Protective? What for?
I just want your sister to come to terms.
But I thought you had this evening at the restaurant.
That's what I wanted Mary to think, Cora. She doesn't know that I'm the leader of the Cicero mob.
Why, you...
I don't want to have to hurt you, Cora. This is a private fight between Mary and me. I'm taking over the New York territory, and I'm going to...
Oh, Sam! Oh!
Cora, you all right?
Yeah. You wanted to kidnap me.
All right now, baby. Don't worry.
Jack, how'd you know?
I just didn't like his face. I didn't like you traveling around with him, so I followed you.
It's all Mary's fault. She made me go out with her. It's Mary's fault.
What's that about Mary?
It's Mary's fault. Mary made me be nice to Sam. Made me nice to all the men I didn't want to.
She did, huh? Cora, here, you take my gun. Go on, take it. Put it in your pocketbook so if any other guy tries to pull a fast.
Thanks, Jeff. Now, will you take me home?
Sure. Oh, wait a minute. I got a better idea. Take the gun out of your bag.
What you say?
Go on. Drop it on the floor of the car near the trunk.
All right.
Now, come on. We'll get out of here before somebody sees us. And we're going to have a talk with Mary.
Cora, what happened?
How did you know something happened?
My radio. I keep it tuned to the police call. Cora, what happened? The police announcer says Sam French is dead.
He is. I shot him.
Start talking, Jack.
Your little playmate from Chicago was going to play kidnap with Cora until you came to terms.
Terms? We came to an agreement earlier this evening.
Oh, yeah? Sam was leader of the Cicero mob.
What?
He came here to get you out of the way.
Dirty. Jack, I certainly owe you something for saving Cora.
Forget it.
The cops think a dame drove Sam's car. Cora must have left a couple of hairpins or something.
That's all?
Yeah, nothing to worry about. The car was Sam's. I'll never trace it to... What's so funny?
Mary, the murder gun is in the car, right alongside of Sam French.
I don't get it.
The cops will, Mary. Cora's fingerprints are all over that gun.
What? You crazy? You shot
Sam? Sure, but I wiped off my prints and handed the gun to Cora. Her fingerprints are all over it. What? Cora ran out. The police will think only one thing. Cora killed Sam and ran away.
You did that to Cora? You did that to my kid sister, you slimy rat! Dirty double...
Stop, wait a minute! Stay away from that drawer.
Mary's got a gun!
That's better. Come on in and sit down, Mary.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you pin a kill on Cora?
Because you played me for a sucker, Mary. That's why, with Cora for bait.
You got me wrong.
No, you got me wrong. You didn't figure me for a guy who used his head, did you? Well, baby, it's little Jack Taylor who does all the talking from now on in.
All right, Jack. What have you got in mind?
Cora here has no police record. The cops will never know whose fingerprints are on that murder gun unless I tell them. And I will tell them, too, unless...
Unless what?
Unless you and me become partners, baby.
So that's the way it is.
Yeah. 50-50 on the whole setup.
Nothing small about you, is there, Jack?
Not a thing. But Sam French dead will take over his Cicero mob. Well, what do you say?
No, I wouldn't turn Cora over to the police.
Okay, then we're partners. Now, how did you come to hook up with Sam French?
Friend of mine. Alf Burton in Chicago.
Alf Burton, huh? Okay, that's my first stop. Alf Burton in Chicago.
Counterspy will continue in just a moment. But right now, I can see that Jimmy wants to wheedle an old Nick candy bar or a nickel out of me. Today, Jimmy, you won't do it. I'm determined. You're absolutely right, Mr. Crump. I want to apologize for the way I've been putting you on the spot. I've flattered you, asked you riddles, and teased you in order to get old Nick candy bars. It's not fair, is it? Oh, Jimmy, I don't really mind. No, sir, I haven't been fair. For instance, you have an old Nick candy bar in your pocket today, haven't you? Well, certainly, I always have an old Nick candy bar handy. It's as fine a candy bar as I know, with that thick milk chocolate coating.
Creamy, buttery, smooth caramel?
And the fudge and... Oh, fresh toasted nuts. It sure is good eating.
Well, today, if I pointed how much money you make, a big-time radio announcer, that is, and how you got plenty of Old Nick candy bars, and how utterly delicious Old Nick candy bars are, and how I'm broke and don't have any, and I'm so hungry for an Old Nick. Well, if I did that, it'd make you sound like the worst kind of a heel if you didn't give me one. Wouldn't it?
Oh, okay, Jimmy, here you are. Now tell him what you think of Old Nick, you rascal.
Old Nick? Oh, boy! Old Nick is a wonderful candy bar.
Get some soon, folks. Wherever fine candy is sold.
You like Old Nick.
Now back to our Counterspy case.
I'll take this report into Mr. Harding myself.
Busy, Chief? Oh, hello, Peter. Just studying this map layout of stolen cars in the United States.
Maybe this teletype report will fit in, Chief. Sam French, a hot car artist from Chicago, was just killed in New York.
Uh-oh. This may be the beginning.
Of what?
This report of stolen cars shows that the heaviest concentrations are around New York and Chicago. Sam French, a Chicago mobster, being killed in New York means only one thing.
The New York and Chicago gangs are beginning to cross each other.
Exactly. Peter, there's enough incentive in stolen cars for gangsters to start a bloody massacre that may rival Prohibition days. We've got to stop it, Peters, before it gets started.
Call me out. A friend of Mary Linton is a friend of mine, Jack.
Ah, glad to hear it. Besides, there's a piece of quick change for helping Mary.
In what way?
Information.
What do you want to know?
Sam French died. Okay. Who's running the Cicero mob now?
It ain't settled yet. Several of the boys have ideas.
Well, they better forget those ideas. The Cicero mob is going to be run from New York.
His boys are tough and hungry. They ain't giving up nothing.
Well, listen to reason, huh?
Each one of them boys figures he'll be the big boss.
I can't waste any time.
Don't see how you can rush matters. Like I said, they have their own ideas.
They have their own ideas, huh? Al, what are the names of the boys with the ideas?
Gang war is flaring up in Chicago, Mr. Harding.
What's the report?
2 more gangsters killed in Chicago. Both men were connected with Sam French at one time.
Sam French again. Peters, have they turned up on anything on the Sam French killing?
Nothing new, Chief. There's a clear set of fingerprints on the gun, but the local police haven't yet identified the prints.
Peters, wire our New York field office.
And?
Have them step into the Sam French case. Requisition the murder weapon and have it sent to Washington. Also have our New York office put the murder car through the laboratory.
Will do, Chief.
Well, I guess I kind of got this little blowout coming to me, huh, Mary?
You're working fast, Jack.
But those men who were killed in Chicago.
Listen to the baby. There'll be plenty more killed before I'm finished, Cora. I'm organizing Chicago if I have to knock off every last mobster in that town.
Jack, I've been in the racket longer than you.
So?
I never had to do any killing. Murder's a sure way to get the cops down on it.
You're all right for that local stuff, Mary, but this is big time. I'm going to combine all the hot car setups in the entire country. And I'm going to do it fast and sure.
By killing?
By knocking off the opposition before it gets started.
Mary, I can't stand it any longer.
Take it easy, Cora.
Oh, this killing. Stealing cars is bad enough, but murder and more murder.
Getting any ideas, Cora?
Yes. I'm getting out. I'll leave town, go to work somewhere.
Oh, no, you won't.
You can't stop me. I'll run away.
Cora, the cops have got a set of fingerprints on a murder gun, remember? I just suppose they find out whose prints they are.
Now, stop it, both of you. Cora isn't going anywhere.
Cora better not get any ideas.
Stop crying, Cora. Go powder your nose or something.
All right.
Mary, I don't like the way Cora acts.
All this talk about killing, she'll get over it.
Cora may be your sister, but...
What do you mean?
Sister or no sister, she's getting dangerous.
I don't like what you're driving
You'd
at.
better. Mary, there might be a time when it'll be either Cora or you.
Shut up. Cora's no danger. I'll control her.
You better.
Find you in the laboratory, Peters. We've just completed an analysis of the gun used in the Sam French murder, Chief. Good. We've confirmed at least one police deduction. A woman handled the gun after the fatal bullet was fired. We found some particles of face powder in the barrel of the gun. The girl apparently had put the gun in her bag, then took the gun out and dropped it near French's body. What was the type of powder? High grade, but sold commonly in department stores of the better kind. A deep shade. The girl evidently is a dark brunette. This is confirmed by a smear of lipstick on the gun. The lipstick is dark, almost purple, the kind used by girls with black hair.
Well, that's a big help, Peters. We've got to find that girl. She's the key to this particular car-stealing racket.
Chief, there are only 140 million persons in the United States.
Half are men, remember?
That still leaves 70 million.
Hardly. The murder took place in New York. We can reasonably infer that the girl's a New York resident. New York City, most probably.
I'll go along with you on that, Chief, but it still leaves about 7 million persons, 3.5 million women.
Not if you stop to think a minute, Peters. Most women have hair of varying shades of brown. Blondes and extreme brunettes are in the minority.
That's right. And here's something else. This girl was driving Sam French's car. It's reasonable to assume that she had a driver's license.
Yes, exactly, Peters. That narrows it to a girl with black hair, eyes probably deep brown or black, who has a driver's license and is on file with the Motor Vehicle Bureau in New York.
At best, Chief, there'll still be several hundred girls in New York answering to that description.
Yeah, that's true enough. Now, have we received an analysis of the murder car?
Not yet, but it may come through at any time.
A chemical analysis of the dust on the floor of the car, dust from the shoes of the driver, will isolate still further the neighborhood where this girl lives.
It's logical.
Peters, order a plane for New York. I've got an idea we may be able to locate the girl who was with Sam French.
In New York in about an hour, Chief.
That's fine. If we're reasoning correctly, this case ought to break tomorrow.
That's New York calling, Chief.
Harding to New York. Go ahead.
Hey, New York to Harding. Plan 14 put into operation. All preliminaries covered. Awaiting reaction of subject involved.
Very good, J6. Should arrive in New York within the hour. I'll meet you at field headquarters.
Move up, please, lady.
I got this notice to bring my license to the Motor Vehicle Bureau.
You're in the right place, lady. You got your right license?
Yes, but I don't understand why I...
You and all the rest of the people online, all we want is your license. You'll be given new ones.
Oh, here it is. Anything wrong with it?
Not a thing. We're starting to issue a new form, that's all. See, Cora Linton, address, good enough. Sit down. Your name will be called and the new blanks filled out. No additional fee.
Oh, there you are, Cora. Jack was asking about you.
Yeah, and it ain't love, baby. I'd just like to see you close to home.
Oh, can't I leave the house for 5 minutes?
You've been gone all afternoon.
I had to go down to the Motor Vehicle Bureau, that's all. Make me a drink, will you, sis?
Sure.
Motor Vehicle Bureau? So now did your license expire?
No, they wanted me to come there, and that's that.
Here's your drink, Cora.
That motor vehicle story smells fishy.
I got the notice. I can prove it here. Take a look at this. It's smart money.
Yeah. So you had to bring your license to the Motor Vehicle Bureau, huh?
They just took my license and gave me a new one. Me and thousands of other girls.
Yeah? No men?
I didn't notice. Come to think of it, no, only girls.
Oh, forget about it. Women's Day at the Motor Vehicle Bureau. Have a drink, Jack.
No. Let's talk about it some more, Cora. What kind of women were there?
I don't know. Girls, young women.
Only young women, huh? Lots of brunettes?
I don't... What do you mean?
What's biting you, Jack?
Look, suppose the cops figured out it was a black-haired young dame who drove Sam French's car. Somebody might have seen her and Sam.
Well, they couldn't have. We didn't stop anywhere.
Oh, you must have stopped for a red light. Somebody saw you. So the cops play it smart. They look up all the driver's license. They call in all the black-haired dames on some phony excuse.
Oh, you're crazy. There was a room full of people.
You hand in your old license. It's got your fingerprints all
Jack,
over it.
don't go getting any ideas.
I had one all along.
Jack, don't shoot!
Let go my arm. So help me. I'll let you have it.
You can't do it. You can't kill me. Stop it.
Drop it, I tell you.
Lucky for you, Miss. The superintendent was around.
So glad you're here, even if you are the police.
United States Counterspy.
Oh, I tell you, I knew Cora would fix us, but she ain't getting away with it. That's the girl who killed Sam French. Her fingerprints are on the murder
He's
count.
lying. Please, listen to me. He's lying. Cora's innocent. She was with Sam French, but Jack killed him.
Shut up, you fool. You're getting your own negative.
Quiet and let the lady talk.
I'll talk plenty.
I imagine you will, Miss Linton, but it's best it'll just confirm the evidence we have concerning your car-stealing setup. All right, Peters, take them to headquarters.
David Harding will be back in just a moment to tell you about next week's exciting case. Say, I sure want to hear about that. I heard it was sensational. But don't you want to hear about Old Nick candy bars first, Jimmy? Now, look, Mr. Krupp, Roger. What can you tell me about Old Nick candy bars? I enjoy one every day. That's all I need to know. But what about those folks who never had the pleasure of tasting Old Nick?
Never tasted Old Nick candy bar? Is it possible?
That's right. Even though Old Nick has been a favorite of millions for over a quarter century, there are still some folks who've never enjoyed that smooth, thick chocolate coating.
The crunchy peanuts and buttery rich caramel?
And the creamy fudge. 4 famous candies blended into one delicious bar.
Now, what do you know?
Well, what'll we do?
Tell him.
Tell him?
Old Nick? Oh, boy. Old Nick is a wonderful candy bar.
As Jimmy points out, you've missed a rare treat if you've missed Old Nick. Get some Old Nick candy bars soon. Why not this evening?
You'll like Old Nick.
This is David Harding speaking. For months, Private First Class Fred Parker, stationed with the American occupation troops in Europe, had looked forward to his wife and family joining him. But a certain man in this country had other ideas which included gambling, murder, and double cross. How these different elements, thousands of miles apart, suddenly came into focus makes next week's Counterspy broadcast an exciting, timely expose. I invite you to listen.
Sunday, August 4th, same time, same station.
David Harding Counterspy is a Philip Sage Lord production.
3345.
3345.
3345.
3345.
Pepsi-Cola, P-E-P-S-I. That's your smartest cola buy. Pepsi-Cola presents Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy, calling Washington.
counterspies, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad.
Tonight, the case of the Mexican Rancho. A counter-spy report to the American people, brought to you each Tuesday and Thursday by Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi-Cola, it's the top, 2 full glasses, that's a lot.
That's right, you heard what they said. 2 full glasses of sparkling Pepsi from one big 12-ounce bottle. You're getting an extra glassful. And what a delicious glassful. The most refreshing, delightful cola that ever tickled your taste. You can't top Pepsi's tangy flavor. And that big bottle saves you money, goes twice as far. Pepsi's America's big favorite. And America's biggest cola value. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
Why take less when Pepsi's best?
And now, to Counterspy. A few weeks ago, a swarthy-faced, steely-eyed chemist was in his laboratory in San Francisco. He was going through his mail. Suddenly, he stopped. There was a picture postcard. He read it.
Dear Jensen, has been seriously ill and am going for vacation. Won't you join me? Aunt Mary.
Slowly, the chemist counted the commas, the periods, even the spacing of the writing. Then he picked up the phone.
Tell Mr. Brown I'm resigning. There's serious sickness in our family.
In a luxurious apartment in Chicago, a small, attractive, fiery young woman in a negligee was reading a picture postcard.
Dear Magna, I'm not expected to live long. Want you with me. Aunt Mary. Well. Bert? Oh, I'm glad I caught you before you went to the bank meeting. The doctor just phoned me the result of my examination. He says it's definitely a breakdown, that I must leave and get away from everything for a while. Yes, I'm packing. Well, as soon as I know where I'll be, I'll let you know, but for a while I've got to be alone.
Real chummy with you and Magna and I back together again.
I wish you'd stop keeping us in suspense, Dresser.
Well, you two acted very promptly on your postal cards.
You say we're to stay on this train till we get to Mexico, Mr. Dresser?
Yeah, that's correct, Jensen. Suppose right now we all take a look at this map of Mexico. Very, very interesting.
Well, now I think I begin to understand. I saw an article in the newspapers. A new uranium deposit in Mexico?
That's why I love you, Magna. Good intuition.
Your training, Dresser.
Remember, I'm here, too.
Now, these fine black lines, they're the mountains. Now, over here, right in the center of these mountains, this is a plateau, the Mexican city of Vitoria.
Population too small even to be listed, eh?
But soon Vitoria may be one of the most important cities of Mexico.
Is the uranium deposit owned by the Mexican government or by whom?
I'm not sure yet, but I believe the deposit may be on land owned by several individuals.
Just how can we profit? What is there to sell a foreign nation?
Information concerning the percentage of uranium, or the method of refining the uranium, or a contract with Mexico to ship part of the ore to other countries.
If we handle this right, it could mean relief.
Jensen, go up to the club car and order us all chicken sandwiches and coffee, huh?
All right. Wouldn't you rather have a highball?
You heard what I said, Jensen.
All right.
I have a premonition about Jansen, too.
You're right again. Since we've worked together last, he has been drinking heavily.
And one who drinks is apt to talk too much?
It should be easy to dispose of him in Mexico by an accident. Now, you and I,
We must study this map of Mexico carefully. We will live in a little hotel in Victoria.
Come in. This is Peters, Counterspy Plane 1, bound for Mexico.
Victoria is about 40 miles north of the uranium discovery. If you don't want to stay in Victoria, there's another town 40 miles to the south of the uranium field, La Festa. You and Mr. Harding can get rooms there in a ranch house.
That would be fine. For a while, we'll want to keep under cover. That's all.
Now remember, Peters, I'm flying to Mexico at your request.
I brought along this map of Mexico, Mr. Harding. I'd like to show you. The publicity that's gotten into the papers about a uranium deposit in Mexico has certainly started something.
What did the report from the Mexican police say about it, Peters?
The report said that persons of questionable character were flocking to Victoria. Victoria, that's right here on the map. Unless I miss my guess, foreign agents are swarming there like flies to molasses. What are you chuckling about, Dave?
For me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I was just thinking of a funny story.
You've got something up your sleeve.
Somehow, Peters, I have a hunch there are going to be some very interesting developments in those mountains within the next few days.
Yeah, this mountain pass is steep, Magnet.
The horse should worry, not me. How are you making it, Johnson?
Personally, I'm frightened to death of the horse.
Well, we're almost to the top. Then we can get a good look at the uranium deposit down there on the plateau. That's it, Johnson. Path is so narrow, you ride ahead. Oh. Let Johnson get ahead, Magnet.
Oh, there.
He's far enough ahead.
This path is very narrow, and very steep, and very rocky.
Your intuition is uncanny, Magnet. Jansen knows nothing of a saddle. When we get to the top, get off and tell him you'll tighten the saddle good. Instead, loosen it.
The horse must be headed down this path.
At the right moment, I will accidentally prick the horse with my knife.
Jansen is at the high spot already.
As soon as I get a good look at the location down there, I'll know how to operate.
The United States will have secret agents down here, too.
Undoubtedly, they're here already. The Mexican secret police.
Ho, boy.
Oh.
Hey, the reports are true, all right. Look down there in the valley.
Let me have those glasses, Jansen.
Here.
I'm going to get off and fix the girth on your saddle, Jansen. It's loose.
Dangerous?
Well, if your saddle slipped to one side, it would throw you on your head and under the horse's feet.
Oh, mounds of dirt. Look at the size of the smokestack from that shacket. I can see high fences and armed guards.
It looks to me like mining has just started.
Yeah, it's like the start of a tremendous operation. It could be one of the largest uranium operations in the world.
Let me turn your horse's head around this way, Jansen.
We're not the only ones who are down here to get information to sell to foreign countries. I've already recognized several other operators.
Would you take your knife, Dresser, and cut off that strap in back of Jansen's horse?
Sorry. Why?
It might flap and frighten your horse.
This one?
Yes.
Stop him!
He's swaying from side to side.
There he goes.
Stayed on longer than I thought he would. Well, we'll take the path back on the other side of the mountain. That's why I told Jansen not to be seen with us.
Dresser, who owns that land down there where the uranium deposit is?
That's what I want to talk to you about, Magna. Part of the land is owned by an American, Harold P. Sturgis.
Oh?
He's expected to arrive in a few days. I want you to meet him and make him like you.
I think that will be possible.
We've got to use him to get into that carefully fenced deposit.
We've got to get a look at the plans and reports in there. And if possible, we've got to get control of his land.
Dave, I'm mad, boiling. I just saw one of the coldest murders, and I was helpless to do a thing about it.
I thought you were up by the high cliff all day.
I was. Nestled comfortably in the boulders when a beautiful girl, and two men came riding up.
To spy on the uranium field like we thought we would.
Yes, glasses and everything. But this girl, she loosened the saddle girth of one of the men, got the horse headed down the steep trail, and then the other man pricked the horse with his knife.
Oh.
The horse ran headlong down the trail, and the saddle slipped.
Killed him outright?
The other two didn't go down to see, but there wasn't any question. After they left, I went down. Don't ask me any more.
You weren't near enough to hear what was said.
No, I was 100 yards away. I'm looking forward to meeting up with that girl. The man, too.
I think you're going to have that chance by tomorrow night.
Wonderful.
Now, Peters, the Mexican police are cooperating to the limit. We've got the town of Victoria covered, every inch. All the liquor glasses from the cafes are taken to the kitchens and immediately fingerprinted.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this file here, full of such fingerprints. And our Washington files show that many of these are wanted characters.
How about pictures?
Thousands of feet of film have been taken of all foreigners who've come to Victoria. I hope when we get through, we'll have an international rogues gallery.
You said you thought I'd have a chance to meet this girl tomorrow night?
As a result, Peters, of a dozen traps we've set. One trap I set with the Registrar of Deeds in Victoria. Now, supposedly, a young American by the name of Harold P. Sturgis.
Uh-oh. So that's what I'm going to pretend I am.
Yes. Now, there's really no such person, but we've created him. Young Sturgis supposedly owns part of the valley where the uranium strike is. Now, several suspicious persons have already been to the Registrar of Deeds and inquired about that land. They've been told that Sturgis is expected to arrive momentarily in Victoria to look over his properties.
Have you made the reservation?
Yes, for tomorrow.
Oh?
Now, let's make Sturgis a playboy, not too smart. I've already gotten you a yellow sport jacket, loud slacks.
Oh, brother.
I think, Peters, you're going to see plenty of action.
Back to Counterspy in a moment.
Pepsi-Cola, it's a spot, 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lot more value, lot more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
More and more, among fellows and girls, among mothers and dads, you hear that sane and sensible question, why take less when Pepsi's best? No budget, no allowance ever had a better friend than tangy, sparkling Pepsi-Cola. Because one big 12-ounce Pepsi bottle gives you 2 delicious drinks. That's twice as much tangy taste, twice as much Pepsi to go just twice as far. That's why more and more families say, why take less when Pepsi's best? Yes, families like yours and mine, families all over America, they're all saying, why take less when Pepsi's best?
Pepsi-Cola so delicious, and each bottle makes 2 drinks. It is certainly the cola for the purchaser who thinks everybody's drinking Pepsi. Just compare it with the rest. So much more and so much finer. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Today, tomorrow, always, get America's biggest cola value. Take home a carton of 6 big Pepsi bottles. Insist on Pepsi at the store, and say Pepsi at the fountain. Say Pepsi at the stand. Say Pepsi. Whenever you reach for refreshments, remember,
why take less when Pepsi's best?
Now, back to Counterspy, the town of Victoria, Mexico, and the bar at the Hotel Ciudad, where Peters of the Counterspies is posing as a young playboy.
Pardon me, I don't usually come into bars and speak to strange men, but aren't you Harold Sturgis?
I am, unless you want me to be somebody else.
I think you're going to be a very interesting boy.
Boy? Oh, excuse me, won't you sit down?
Thank you. My name is Magna Lawson.
And you already know mine.
Yes, Mrs. Sturgis. You see, I'm a botanist, but I've got to make a little money so I can stay a few days longer and finish my work.
That certainly is understandable.
Well, I'm also a very good secretary, shorthand, typing. I thought that possibly while you were down here, you might need a secretary.
The funny part of it is that I do need one. I need one badly.
You mean you really could use me?
Well, I'm here on business. Besides, I'm terrible at details. I've got letters to write, deeds of land to look over, and papers to examine over at the mine.
You haven't asked me my price yet.
What is your price?
$10 a day for a very efficient secretary and one who can be absolutely trusted. Is that too much?
Definitely no. For the hours, they're apt to be quite irregular.
Oh, then it's a deal.
A very pleasant deal.
When do I start?
I'd like to have you start in about half a minute.
Now you're making fun of me. But I'm really serious, Mr. Sturgis. Honestly, when do you really want me to start?
How about first thing in the morning?
Well, tomorrow's Sunday. I want to go to church first, and then I'll start.
I can see you're a very sweet person, Miss Magna. And I know you'll be very trustworthy.
Mr. Dresser.
Oh, Magna. What's the latest with the Sturgis man?
Sturgis is trusting me with everything. I've already been into the valley with him, right where the mining is going on.
I know. I was watching through the glasses from the ledge. Can you get a sample of the uranium ore?
I'm sure I can. Even better. He's going back to the main office tonight. He's going to look through the company records to decide whether or not to sell his land.
The chance of a lifetime, Magna. Use your camera.
No, I'll take dozens and dozens of pictures of their files.
Try to dope them so you can really do a job.
And if that should fail?
See that he meets with an accident. We've got to know what the files contain.
I pride myself on being rather ingenious. I'll do something to him in the car before we even arrive at the plant. This road to the location is so rough. I don't see how you can see all the holes at night, Harold.
Nervous, Magna?
Oh, why should I be?
Just we're alone, a long way from town.
I don't think I'd be nervous with you anyplace, Harold. How much farther to the office?
Half hour. The office is right next to the mine shaft. I don't know whether to sell my interest in the land or not, Magna. Tonight I want to go through all the papers in the files.
Well, you might make money in the end by not selling, but it's going to be very complicated being all snarled up in it, and you don't like details.
That's just what I'm worried about. I have enough money. Why make more if it's going to become too involved? What are you doing?
Here, take some.
Chewing gum?
Mm-hmm.
No, thanks. Not right now. After we look over the reports tonight, you tell me whether you think I should sell or not.
Chewing gum relaxes you.
But I honestly don't want...
Here, now stop being stubborn.
All right. You're a persistent woman. You, always get your way with men?
Uh-huh.
That's nice, isn't it?
Well, doesn't the gum taste good?
Sure it does. Only you tickle me so. You were more interested in a little stick of chewing gum than you were whether I should sell out.
I'm really at heart just a woman, Harold. I have to have my own way.
Deeds to the land are complicated, Magna.
You're not accustomed to a business life, Harold. This is where my secretarial work comes in handy. Now, those papers on the table over here.
Original deed of ownership. Title guarantee. Surveys. Oh, excuse me. How long have we been working?
About an hour.
I feel groggy.
Rest for a couple of minutes.
Oh, if I rested, I'm afraid I'd fall asleep.
Sometimes a 5-minute nap just fires me right up. Put your head down on the desk. Try it.
Well, I guess I'd
got to.
Yes, that's the way. Harold? Harold? The chance of a lifetime.
Hello?
Peters, Chief. She tried to dope me tonight by giving me chewing gum. While I was supposedly asleep at the factory, she went through the files with a camera. Was she fast and good?
Watch yourself.
Oh, Brother Willi, she's poisoned.
It's time to force action, Peters. Pretend to take her into your confidence and tell her what your plans are.
When are you coming over to Victoria, Chief? This town is a hotbed of intrigue.
I think I'll move over tonight. If we're going to start bearing down, there's no telling what'll happen.
Why do you send me such an emergency message, Magnet?
The American, Harold Sturgis, he's decided to sell his land in the valley.
What? Why is he so foolish?
He's a playboy type dresser. He would rather have quick money now.
We've got to buy that fool's land.
I think he'd sell for $100,000.
Then offer it to him. I'll buy it myself.
No, I think he'd become suspicious. But 2 nights from tonight, he's going to hire the entire restaurant at the Hotel Ciudad to auction the land off.
Who knows about his plan?
Only us so far. Tomorrow night he will announce the auction. And those who wish to attend must leave a note in his hotel box asking for a ticket.
This will be our opportunity, Magnet. For perhaps $100,000, $200,000, we shall buy a property we can resell for millions.
Harding, La Festa, Mexico, to Counterspy Field Office, El Paso, Texas. Arranged to have 2 large transport planes available near the town of Victoria tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Victoria, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. That is all. Now, how are you coming with that list of applications, Peters?
Here are the results, Dave. 84 persons have written requests to me for tickets to the auction tomorrow night. Of these 84, we have wanted orders on 62.
Now, fingerprints on the applications, handwriting, known aliases, and so forth have been checked against our dragnet operation in Victoria?
Right.
All right. We'll consider these 62. See which ones we issue tickets to. Now, most of the big ones I want to arrest, so we'll give them tickets to attend the auction. The small fry we won't give tickets to. They'll return to the States and think we don't know anything about them. Now, Charles Dennis, record 1937, released from custody. No, Peters, no ticket for Dennis. Check. Nicholas Bernsdorf, record... Oh, Peters, this Bernsdorf we've been looking for years. Transportation saboteur. Yes, Peters, a ticket to the auction for Bernsdorf.
And a specially engraved ticket to my sweet secretary and Dressler, her real boss.
You certainly had a clever idea, Harold, renting this restaurant for your auction.
I didn't realize how many people would show up, Magna. I never saw so many international characters before. Have you?
They probably believe they're going to get a bargain when you put your ranch up for auction. What do you think you... Harold? Who's that big man walking onto the middle of the floor?
I believe that's Mr. Harding of the United States Counterspy.
Oh, I think I'll leave for just a minute.
Wait a second.
Attention, please. Your attention, please. Everybody in this restaurant asked for a ticket to attend this auction. Now, in order to conduct the proceedings with the utmost efficiency, all doors are locked
and armed guards are stationed outside the doors. Now, gentlemen, and the few ladies present, I'd like to introduce myself, David Harding of the United States Counterspy. We have been working here in Mexico with the consent of the Mexican police. You see, uranium deposits are very vital today, and it occurred to me that if a Mexican deposit were located, espionage agents of many countries, espionage agents both big and small, would come flocking to see what they could learn, accomplish, or sell. Therefore, we took some worthless ranch land out here, 50 miles from any large city, put a fence around it, a couple of old buildings, and a smokestack. Then we gave out information that uranium might have been struck. We didn't add that it might have been, but wasn't. I'd like to ask my assistant, Mr. Peters, to stand up.
You a counterspy?
That's right, Miss Magna. And you stand up, too.
I'd like to remind you all we're not in the mood for fooling.
Stand up.
I'd like to kill you.
And now, Mr. Dressler, stand up. We have a record on every person in this cafe, and I am placing you all under arrest by the United States government for espionage. But you, Magna Lawton, and you, Carl M. Dressler, I'm placing you two under arrest for murder.
No, not murder.
The murder of who, Mr. Harding? The murder of Lars Jasson. He fell from his horse. It was an accident. Tell him, Peters.
I was hiding about 100 yards distant. I saw you, Dressler and Magna, set the whole murder. And I'll testify to send you both to the electric chair.
Not me!
Watch the window!
Dressler is dead. The rest of you, there's the window Dressler tried to jump through. There's the door. Planes are waiting outside to take you back to the United States. Anyone else wish to try the window? No? Then start walking for the door.
When your friends drop in, be generous, but be thrifty, too. Serve plenty of delicious Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi's big 12-ounce bottle gives you not just one sparkling glassful, but two. Get a carton of 6 and serve 12 delicious drinks. Yes, Pepsi is America's biggest cola value. You get twice the tangy taste, twice the refreshment, twice the Pepsi. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
Pepsi-Cola, hit the spot, 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lot more value, lot more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same station for Counterspy. Listen on Thursday for the exciting Counterspy case of the poison Peddler.
The powerful underworld king with the strange laugh. The painted store window that led to a ripped jacket and a charge of murder. The secret document at a city hall that forced a former actress to give her best performance. Be sure to listen on Thursday, day after tomorrow,
to the case of a poison Peddler on Counterspy. Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York, was directed by Ted Corday, and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer, with music by Jesse Crawford. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production for Pepsi-Cola. Enjoy some Pepsi ice cold tonight. Get up and go power. That's what you get from a nourishing breakfast built around Cheerios. Cheerios are crisp, crunchy little oat donuts, packed with good old-fashioned oat nourishment. Cheerios are ready to eat. They give you all the important vitamin B1 and minerals of oats, and a wonderful taste thrill besides. Try them. you'll soon be sealing your Cheerios. And for another half hour of exciting adventure, listen tomorrow night over this same network to The Lone Ranger. And for another half hour of exciting adventure, listen tomorrow night over this same network to The Lone Ranger. Pepsi-Cola, P-E-P-S-I. That's your smartest cola buy. Pepsi-Cola presents Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy. Calling Washington.
United States counterspies, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad.
Tonight, the case of a poison peddler. A Counterspy report to the American people, brought to you each Tuesday and Thursday by Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi-Cola, it's a body, 2 full glasses, that's a lot.
That's right, you heard what they said. 2 full glasses of sparkling Pepsi from one big 12-ounce bottle. You're getting an extra glassful. And what a delicious glassful. The most refreshing, delightful cola that ever tickled your taste. You can't top Pepsi's tangy flavor. And that big, big bottle saves you money, goes twice as far. Pepsi's America's big, big favorite. And America's biggest cola value. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
Why take less when Pepsi's best?
And now, to Counterspy. Now, let's be absurd for just 1 minute. You know, and I know, it would be impossible, actually, to take a microphone right into the New York underworld and interview who's who. But if we could, there's one character we certainly wouldn't want to miss. Bugs Gonier. Bugs, come here a minute.
Sure. That's my nickname, Bugs. And don't think I ain't known. Chicago, St. Louis, Elmira. That's a good pen, Elmira.
Been in the Star much, Bugs?
So-so, huh?
A strange laugh you have.
Lay off the criticism. When I was with the Hogan gang, I was took for a ride. My throat cut. Left for dead. Done something to my larynx and give me a funny laugh. I'm sensitive about it.
How'd you get so powerful, Bugs?
Mostly brains. A little double-cross here, a little double-cross there. Maybe having a guy being took for a ride. I got the biggest racket now in the country. Hey, Lily Bell.
Yeah?
Come here. She's ex-Follies.
I was as good as the Follies ever had. I was the toast of Broadway.
You're about 38?
26.
What's your card? I taught her everything she knows. This guy, Diamond, he works for me, too. Hey, Diamond, who's the big shot?
You are, Bug.
Tell him what I learned you.
We've organized the Young Defenders Club. The idea is race hates it. Kids join the Young Defenders, and we sell them uniforms and thousands of badges for $5 each. We make $4 a badge. I make speeches at the meetings, get them excited against other races, so they'll smash store windows, throw rocks, and so forth.
I'll tell them how I use you, Lily.
Well, I go to stores run by the races we work up hate against and sell them protection from the kids.
Nobody but Bugs Gonier could have sunk up a double racket like that. That's big money in selling hate.
You'll have to pardon me now, you three. I got to return to the broadcasting studio. But I, too, hate you three and the things you stand for. Now, after that make-believe, we're back in the radio studio, ready to start our Counterspy case for tonight. It starts 3 weeks ago in the overly furnished, expensive apartment of Bugs Gonier in New York. Bugs was talking to his henchman, Diamond. Lily Bell was discordantly playing the piano.
Lily Bell plays the piano like I play marbles. Good joke, huh?
Bud, tonight I'm going to begin speaking to the young defenders on Long Island. We should get 500 new members. That's $5,000.
Hey, Lil, lay off the piano.
Oh, I got you interested in the party. When I heard you.
Come here.
Next week, the kids out on Long Island will be all worked up, smashing windows.
Lily Bell, you work Long Island next week, too. If Diamond can bring in $5,000 for dues, you should get $5,000 for selling protection to the stores. And the phone is for me. I'll get it.
Diamond.
Keep still.
We gotta tell Bugs sooner or later.
Not now.
But if Bugs finds out.
Curtains for both of us. Give me a week on Long Island, and I'll bring him back a bag of dough. He'll feel good. Then maybe we'll tell him the big secret. Next corner, Billy. Which side, Bud? The left. What's the matter, Billy? You scared?
Hey, no, I just want to make sure nobody's around.
Get the paint. Come on, Billy. We ain't got all night.
Maybe we shouldn't paint a store, Spud.
You are scared.
Suppose the cops...
Look, Billy. We join the young defenders to show guys like Old Man Green we don't want them in this part of town, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, then come on. We'll smear his whole store window with paint. And then we'll pour the rest of it in the doorway. We'll show this old uncle he can't mess around with the young defenders.
And let's start painting quick.
Yeah. Now, give me the small brush. I'm going to make a picture of it.
Here.
Boy, stop painting my store.
Old Man Green.
I've got you.
Yeah,
Please, don't. Big heroes. You come in the night and spoil an old man's store.
Chop him, Billy. He hit his head. Come on, Billy. Help me, Bud. He's holding on to me. Come on, Billy. We gotta get out of here.
Listen, boy.
Wait, let go of my jacket, Mr. Green. Come on, Billy. Let go of my jacket. Let go. Let go.
Out in the name of the law. Who is it?
Just me, Pop.
Oh, Billy. Well, it's about time you got home.
Didn't know it was so late, Pop.
I was just going to turn out the lights, and then you... What's happened to your jacket?
My jacket? Oh, I caught the pocket on the handle of a guy's car. I ripped it. Don't worry, Pop. I'll sew it.
Even your mother, when she was alive, couldn't have sewed up a rip in your coat that bad. Visitors? This late?
Don't answer it, Pop.
Don't answer it.
No, Pop, please.
Well, they knock down the door if I don't.
Don't open that door. Don't.
Yes, who? Policeman. Sorry, Mr. Roy. I've got to come in. What's the idea of walking in here with a gun? That your boy? Yes. Come here, boy. Come here. Well, now look, what's happened? What's he done? Torn jacket. Now, bet this piece of cloth will fit that torn jacket. Look, my boy is a good boy. Now, why do you do this?
Ah, please.
What's he done? Killed a man. Killed a man? My boy killed a man?
Washington, D.C. Complying with your request to local police officials that information pertaining to Young Defenders of America be forwarded to you, 2 members of that organization have just been arrested in New York for manslaughter.
This is Harding speaking.
This Young Defenders organization, which is spreading racial hatred, is top priority. Mr. Peters and I will arrive in New York in 3 hours.
Mr. Harding, this is Billy Clinton.
Billy? Sit down.
Yes. This is Billy's father, Mr. Clinton.
I'm terribly sorry about all this, Mr. Clinton.
My boy killed a man.
I'll be outside if you want me, Mr. Harding.
Well, Billy, you're in quite a mess.
I know it, sir.
How'd you get mixed up with these Young Defenders?
Well, all the guys were joining it. Just seemed like the thing to do, to defend something.
I see. You read the newspaper which is published for the Young Defenders?
Yes, sir.
Agree with it?
Well, I didn't think too much about it, sir. I just read it.
Did you ever hear a man named Vincent Diamond speak?
Yes, he's the national leader.
I know.
He speaks to all our branches and members.
Tell me, Billy, didn't it ever occur to you to question this bigotry, this hate of minorities and races that he was preaching?
I don't know, Mr. Harding. You get so excited, you just join in.
I see. Pardon me. Yes?
Chief, the first report that Mr. Green died is not correct. He responded to treatment on the way to the hospital. Green has been in the operating room 4 hours. A delicate brain operation. There's a chance he might live.
Oh, I hope so. This gives me an idea, Peter. Keep that information secret.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to Mr. Clinton. Billy, I want you to leave us for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Can I kiss my father first?
Certainly.
I'm sorry, Pop.
Go out now, Billy, like Mr. Harding said.
Mr. Clinton, these boys committed this crime themselves, but the poison propaganda peddled by Diamond stirred them up. However, that isn't going to convict him.
But why should the counterspies be called in on a thing like this, Mr. Harding?
Mr. Clinton, we keep an open file on all crackpot and subversive organizations. You see, these hate organizations break down into 2 types. The ones led by mentally upset neurotics or crackpots, and the ones that are just crooked rackets.
What class are the Young Defenders in?
Indications are it's a crooked racket. And I want you to help us break it.
It's too late now to save my boy.
It's never too late to try anything, Mr. Clinton. Besides, there are other dads and other boys.
Now, all right, Mr. Harding. I'll do anything.
Back to Counterspy in a moment.
Pepsi-Cola, kisses pop, 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lot more value, lot more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
More and more, among fellows and girls, among mothers and dads, you hear that sane and sensible question, why take less when Pepsi's best? No budget, no allowance ever had a better friend than tangy, sparkling Pepsi-Cola. Because one big 12-ounce Pepsi bottle gives you 2 delicious drinks. That's twice as much tangy taste, twice as much delicious Pepsi to go just twice as far. That's why more and more families say, why take less when Pepsi's best? Yes, families like yours and mine. Families all over America. They're all saying, why take less when Pepsi's best?
Pepsi-Cola so delicious and each bottle made to drink. It is certainly the cola for the purchaser who thinks everybody's drinking Pepsi. Just compare it with the rest. So much more and so much finer. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Today, tomorrow, always. Get America's biggest cola value. Take home a carton of 6 big Pepsi bottles. Insist on Pepsi at the store. And say Pepsi at the fountain. Say Pepsi at the stand. Say Pepsi. Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
why take less when Pepsi's best?
Now back to Counterspy and the office of the Young Defenders.
Is this the office of the Young Defenders?
Ever hear of knocking before you come in?
You heard my question.
Listen, you windbag. When I was in the chorus, no man ever...
Is this the office of the Young Defenders?
Yes.
Where's this diamond man who goes around making the speeches?
None of your business.
It is my business. You know who I am?
Must I?
I'm Mr. Clinton, the father of Billy Clinton, ever arrested for killing that storekeeper.
Oh.
Now I want to see that man Diamond.
He isn't here.
Where does that door lead?
It's just to another office.
I'll take a look.
I told you. Mr. Diamond isn't here.
Oh, well, Diamond's been going around talking to the boys at these Young Defenders meetings. He's in this just as deep as my son.
But Mr. Diamond wasn't with you, son.
Well, he aroused Billy, so he did it. And I want to see him. I demand to see him.
Who demands to see who?
Who are you?
I'm acquaintance with Mr. Diamond. I'll keep your shirt on, Todd.
I don't like that laugh.
I didn't ask you if you did. Now get out and go away.
I'm not going anywhere till I see that man Diamond.
This is Billy Clinton's father. Billy was the boy who was painting in Mr. Green's store and killed the old man.
Yeah.
He's been banging all around the office.
And I demand to see Diamond, or there's going to be plenty of trouble. Now, we've all got to protect each other. Huh? The same kind of undesirables Diamond is preaching about. They're going to persecute my boy in court.
Wait a minute. I'm getting this wrong. What do you want?
I want some money to hire defense in court for my boy. I'm a poor man. I haven't got any money for his defense. No, he's a member of the Young Defenders. The organization should defend him.
Hey, you're right. Yes, sure. The Young Defenders will defend your boy.
But we can't defend him if he's...
Quiet, Lola. We'll hire the best lawyers money can buy, Mr. Clinton. The Young Defenders will not allow your boy to be crucified.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sure. You come back to the office in a week, you'll see.
Oh, well, that's wonderful now. Wonderful. We'll all hang together.
Yeah, let's not use that word. We'll stick together. Right out that way, Mr. Clinton.
Yeah. We've got to defend my boy.
Well, be seeing you. Goodbye.
Bugs, I ain't very bright.
Don't you get it, stupid? A defense fund. We'll raise money from every sucker on Diamond's list. We'll screen the kid being persecuted because he's a young defender. We must rally to his defense.
Oh.
Who'd ever think of that but me, Bugs Gonia? You think if Diamond was in town, he'd think of it? We'll raise the dough by letter.
Diamond will be awful sore taking over his end of the racket.
Yeah. It's a good time to show Diamond who's got the brains. We'll collect $100,000 by next week.
The Young Defenders Organization has sent out about 200,000 letters, Mr. Harding.
Asking for money to defend Billy Clinton.
Yes. Oh, and Mr. Green is better.
Good. But don't let that news get out.
Right.
Peters, who does this Diamond live with?
He has a room by himself. But some way he's hooked up with a gangster called Bugs Gonia.
Anything on, Bugs?
A long past record, but no reason to pick him up now. There's also an ex-Follies girl mixed up somehow.
We'll do some more checking on them. And just as soon as the money starts coming in for that defense fund, we'll have some legal reason for moving in on Diamond.
That big fool. Bugs didn't have any right to mix in on my end of the racket while I was gone, Lily.
Take it easy, Diamond. He's right in the next room. He'll hear you.
I have a good mind to tell him about us anyhow.
Oh, cut it out, Diamond.
Come on, I'm going in to see him.
Promise me you won't tell him the secret. He's too upset right now.
Okay, come on.
How I hate that man.
So you're back, Diamond. Quite the fellow. You lemon? Huh?
Cut that phony laugh.
I don't like that, Diamond.
Well, I don't like you messing with my end of the racket.
Listen to him, Lily. Sore, because in 1 week I rig it up to make more than he's made in 3 months.
Everything I've done has been inside the law. They couldn't touch it.
So what?
The law could get us now.
So what?
For fraudulent use of the mail. We can get a couple of years in the pen through your stupidity.
Yourself, Diamond.
Please, Diamond didn't mean it.
Oh, yes, I did.
Stop it. Stop it, both of you.
Well, forget it. Go on back to your room, Diamond. You go get dressed, Lily. You and me are stepping out tonight.
Wait a minute, Bug.
Diamond, you promised.
He promised what? What did he promise?
How much will you sell me the young defenders for, Bug?
I'm selling nothing.
Stop laughing that way.
Don't give me all.
Why, you...
Get that bookends, Lily. The bookends. Well, you try to hit me, Lily.
Oh, no, Bug.
You try to hit me on the head. You missed and hit Diamond.
No, I didn't, honest. You two were moving so fast.
If I thought you did.
Why would I want to hit you?
Look at me.
Don't, Bug.
Look at me right in the eye. Huh? Okay.
Oh, Diamond. He's dead.
Sure he is. You really hit him.
Oh, what are we going to do? It's murder.
If you hadn't have done it, I would.
Oh.
Now we just got to get him out of here.
How?
All right. It's dark. Car's in front. We'll pretend he's had too much to drink. We'll walk him out between us.
Oh, I'm scared, Bugs. Awful scared.
Hey, I got me another big idea.
Another like this, I suppose.
We leave him alone in the woods. In a couple of weeks, he's found. And who killed him? The young desirables that the young defenders have been working against. It'll get us a lot of new members. Come on. We got to get rid of them.
Yes, Mr. Harding. We're checking the money that's coming in on that defense fund.
How much?
About $3,000 a day.
Then we're going into action. Come into my office.
Yes, sir. I've reviewed the court order, Mr. Harding, giving us permission to check on the money being sent into the young defenders by mail.
What a vicious racket, Peter. I haven't been able to dig up anything more on that Bugs Gonia that Diamond is some way connected with. Peter, before we take Diamond, let's go up and pay Bugs a little social call. I've checked, and the girl is there with him now.
Cut it out, Lily. I'm sick of this. I said cut it out.
And I'm sick of sitting around here doing nothing. Going crazy.
Maybe you miss Diamond.
Maybe I do.
Maybe you're sore. I won't let you go no place.
I'm suffocating to death. You sitting there, looking at me.
And maybe hating you.
You do hate me, don't you?
I hate everybody.
And you hate yourself. It's all over your face. And stop that freak laugh.
Shut up. One word to the cops and you'd get the chair.
I'm sick and fed up with it all. This last racket is a rottenness yet. Who?
Answer the door. This Bugs Gonia's apartment.
Who wants to know?
What's the idea coming here this time of night?
I think we'll walk in.
You got your nerve.
I'm Harding of the United States Counterspies. This is Mr. Peters, my assistant. You Bugs Gonia?
Good. Have a seat. Two of you have 2 seats.
Where's Diamond?
I don't know. Maybe he's gone on a honeymoon.
Alex.
Huh?
Nothing.
Does Diamond work for you?
Nah. We're just passing acquaintances.
What do you know about this hate racket, Bud? Stirring up racial hatred among ignorant people.
Diamond does that?
You're Lily Bell, aren't you?
Yeah.
That was the name in the polish.
You know Diamond pretty well?
No, not very well. I know him by sight.
Come from Wisconsin, don't you?
Yeah.
Falls Junction, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
You recently got a copy of your birth certificate, didn't you? Where is it now?
I don't know.
Did you want to show it to someone at the little town of Wellington over in Jersey?
Stop it. Stop it.
Well, I stopped. Shall I go on?
What's the idea of all this?
Your birth certificate wouldn't still be at the Marriage Bureau in New Jersey, would it, Lily?
I don't know.
Where is your husband, Lily?
Oh, what's the use? I'll tell everything.
Lily.
I did marry Diamond. He's dead. He was killed in a fight right here in this apartment.
Stop him, Peter.
I tried to hit Buttons over the head, and I hit Diamond by mistake.
I had nothing to do with it.
You know all about this hate racket, Lily?
Yes, every bit of it. I was in on it, too. I'll tell you everything. Everything.
All right, Peter. Get the cops on Bugsconia. Murder and accomplice to murder. And a whole list of federal offenses. Inciting race prejudice and hatred. The crime of intolerance is the worst of all. We'll do everything in our power to help wipe it out.
When your friends drop in, be generous, but be thrifty, too. Serve plenty of delicious Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi's big 12-ounce bottle gives you not just one sparkling glassful, but 2. Get a carton of 6 and serve 12 delicious drinks. Yes, Pepsi is America's biggest cola value. You get twice the tangy taste, twice the refreshment, twice the Pepsi. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
Pepsi-Cola, hit the spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lots more value, lots more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
now here again is David Harding.
It so happens that tonight's case is very timely. This is Brotherhood Week, so let's all spread the word. Don't listen to or spread gossip about any group of people. Instead, stand up and talk against that kind of talk when you hear it. Not only this week, but all year round. That's being a real American.
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same station, to Counterspy. Listen next Tuesday for the exciting Counterspy case of the School for Spies.
The beauty parlor cover-up for a sinister operation. The bad penny, Black Egypt, who turned up at the wrong time. And the murdered passenger standing at the rail of the Staten Island ferry. The case of the School for Spies shows how an innocent word can be fitted like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle into a larger picture which means trouble to our nation. The exciting way your counterspies get on the trail of a menacing spy syndicate who prey on Uncle Sam's boys in blue will be exposed next Tuesday. Be sure to listen to the
Case of the School for Spies on Counterspy. Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York. It was directed by William M. Sweets and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer with music by Jesse Crawford. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production for Pepsi-Cola. Enjoy some Pepsi, ice cold tonight. Pepsi-Cola, P-E-P-S-I. That's your smartest cola buy. Pepsi-Cola presents Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy. Calling Washington.
United States Counterspies, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad.
Tonight, the case of the Blackmailed Hijacker, a counter-spy report to the American people. Brought to you each Tuesday and Thursday by Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi-Cola, hits the spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot.
That's right. You heard what they said. 2 full glasses of sparkling Pepsi from one big 12-ounce bottle. You're getting an extra glassful. And what a delicious glassful. The most refreshing, delightful cola that ever tickled your taste. You can't top Pepsi's tangy flavor. And that big, big bottle saves you money, goes twice as far. Pepsi is America's big, big favorite. And America's biggest cola value. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
why take less when Pepsi's best?
And now, to Counterspy. Shortly after midnight, last February 3rd, a heavy truck carrying 10 tons of high explosives to a government arsenal was rolling along a foggy, mountainous stretch of Highway 9W in eastern Pennsylvania. The driver, Larry Mason, held the wheel tightly.
Hey, Vince. Yeah? Vince, can you see anything? The fog's getting thicker by the minute, Larry. For the love of Mike, Larry, if you got a whistle, at least change that tune.
You know, we should have stopped before we hit this road, Vince. With that 10 tons of nitro we got in the back, one slip and my wife cashes in my insurance.
Hey, Larry, up ahead.
Yeah, looks like a car skidded right across the road.
Slow it down.
Yeah, no. I don't see the driver, do you, Vince?
No.
Well, we better get out and take a look. Maybe we can help the guy.
Yeah.
I'll get out on your side, too.
Okay, you two. Hold everything.
Guy with a gun.
Hey, what is this?
Get away from that truck. This is the hijack, sweetheart.
And this is a trick I learned in the Army.
Oh, kick me, will ya?
Vince, look out.
Urgent to all Counterspy field offices, District 3. Mr. Harding now in Pittsburgh field office to take charge of following case. Truck hijacking last night, Highway 9W, eastern Pennsylvania. Relief driver Vince Dugan killed. Killer tentatively identified as one Sid Barlow. See Counterspy file. Identification made by surviving driver of truck Larry Mason.
Lock the door for you, Carol?
No, Larry. I'm only going to the supermarket. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I've got to buy a lot of groceries, darling. It's got time to help me carry them back.
Well, kiddo, I'm due downtown at the Counterspy field office to see David Harding.
I wish you'd let me go with you.
No, I don't want you to have anything to do with
Larry.
murders and ex-convicts.
Hey, Larry Mason.
Oh, hello, Steve.
Hey, Larry. Going downtown, huh?
Yeah, Steve, this is the wife, Carol. Honey, it's Steve Kramer, chief truck dispatcher down at the company for 6 or 7 years.
Oh, Mrs. Mason, Larry hadn't ought to keep you to himself.
Thanks, Mr. Kramer. Oh, Larry, I'm going on to the market. See you at supper, honey.
So long, kiddo.
Lucky you, Larry.
Don't I know it. Going downtown, too, Steve? I'm kind of in a hurry.
Counterspy field office, huh?
Yeah, 9 o'clock to identify the guy who killed Vince Dugan.
How about a lift?
Oh, you got your car, Steve?
A friend of mine's got his right over here.
Good.
I happened to spot you, so we stopped.
Good enough.
Hop in, Larry. This is a friend of mine, Mr. Marengo, Larry Mason.
Hiya.
Good morning. You in, Steve?
Take off. Hey, Larry, I've been telling Mr. Marengo what pals you and Vince Dugan were.
Vince was a great guy.
Yes. It was an unfortunate accident, Larry.
It wasn't an accident, Mr. Marengo. That rotten dog just shot Vince down.
I understand the Counterspy's already picked up the guy who killed Vince from the description you gave him.
Yeah.
Character named Sid Barlow. All they need now is for you to pick the guy out of the lineup.
I'll never forget that killer's face. I'll pick him out all right.
Larry, maybe you won't pick Barlow out.
Why wouldn't I hang it on Barlow if he's the guy?
Tell him, Steve.
Larry, 3 years ago, a con got out of the state jug in Ohio after a stretch for manslaughter. Truck accident.
Yeah.
He comes here to Pittsburgh, changes his name to Larry Mason, and gets a job with our company as truck driver. Under false pretenses.
How did you know?
Also, Larry, last year you married a very lovely girl.
I'll say.
But, of course, you didn't tell Carol about your prison term, did you?
Now, listen.
What Carol doesn't know won't hurt her, eh, Larry?
Carol doesn't have to know. Does she, Steve?
Oh, Mr. Marengo, nobody has to know. That's up to Larry.
So that's the setup.
Ah, Steve, it's 8:45. We'll drive Larry down to the Counterspy field office. Mr. Harding will be waiting for it. Mr. Harding, here's Larry Mason.
Mr. Harding?
Good morning, Larry. Sit down here with Peters and me.
Yes, sir.
This is our lineup room, Larry. In a few seconds, several men will come out on that platform up there behind glass. Sid Barlow among them. Now, I want you to pick out the killer.
Yes, sir.
The lights are so arranged that we can see the men, but they can't see us. And they can't hear us either. Conway.
Yes, Mr. Harding?
We're ready, Conway. You can send them out.
Yes, sir. Okay, boys, you want it on stage.
There they are, Larry. Well?
The second man from the left, he looks something like him.
Take your time.
Well, I'm not positive now. You know, I only saw the killer from the side.
Just a minute. Conway, second man from the left, turn to the right.
Second man from the left, turn to the right.
He seems taller.
You see the man you described to us the other day?
Well, I'm not so sure now. You know, it was dark that night.
Larry, Vince Dugan was your closest friend. You have a deep personal interest in bringing his murderer to trial.
Sure.
But there's even more to this case. Recently, a number of trucks carrying nitromethylene, a powerful explosive, have been hijacked.
Yes, that's what we were carrying the other night.
Well, Larry, we suspect that some big international racketeer is shipping these stolen explosives to a dangerous anti-American group in the Far East. Can make all kinds of international trouble.
Yes, sir, I see.
Now, if you can point out the killer, you'll be helping us smash a dangerous international racket. Now, can you identify one of those men as the murderer of Vince Dugan?
Mr. Harding, he's not there. Not the one who killed Vince Dugan.
Mason, your original description of the murderer was an amazingly exact one and detailed. You were eager to see him punished. I'd like to know what's changed your mind. All right, Mason. You can go.
Yeah, Larry, this is Steve. I left a message for you to call me. Listen, I made a date for you with Mr. Marengo. You better come. 8 o'clock tonight in this penthouse apartment. I'll pick you up.
Larry, I want to thank you for not identifying Barlow yesterday at the Counterspy field office.
Keep your thanks, Marengo.
Larry, that's no way to act, Mr. Marengo.
Well, there's nothing to talk about, Steve. You two got what you wanted. That was the deal.
Yes, Larry, that was that deal. Now I have a new deal for you.
Chance to make some real dough, Larry. Not the measly dough you get for pushing a truck around for our company.
I'm satisfied.
Nothing so stubborn as a reformed convict, eh, Steve?
Larry, I'm scheduling you to take a load of explosives for the company tomorrow night to another arsenal at Bay City, alone. That powder don't get to Bay City.
You see, Larry, some of my men will be waiting to meet your truck on the highway.
Mr. Marengo has it all set up, Larry. All you do is take one on the chin to make the hijack look clean.
Nothing doing. It's no deal, Marengo. I paid you off, I did what you wanted, and I'm through.
Larry, what about David Harding?
Harding? What do you mean?
Larry, you did a very bad thing when you took the finger off Sid Barlow. You, an ex-con, deliberately deceived Harding. You see, Larry, you have to accept my offer. My men will expect you tomorrow night.
What's the setup, Peters? Larry Mason's taking a load of explosives to the Bay City Arsenal tonight, Dave, alone.
Oh, it's a perfect situation for Mason to allow himself to be hijacked.
But do we allow it, Dave?
Tell you what, we'll set up observation posts all along Mason's route. Now, besides, you tail him in a car. Take at least 3 more men, armed for a capture if necessary. I'll keep in touch with all of you from the communications room.
Mr. Harding, Conway reporting from Greenvale. Truck driven by Larry Mason stopped here 11:35 p.m. While he was cleaning his license, I checked his speedometer. Reading 22,314 miles.
Greenvale, 11:35. Driving time checks, mileage checks. Thanks, Conway.
Adams reporting from Pine City, Mr. Harding. Larry Mason's time here, 1:05 a.m. Speedometer reading 22,367.
Time and mileage check. And Adams, Peters and 3 men are tailing Mason's truck in a car, ready for trouble if it comes. Keep an eye out for them.
Peters calling Harding from pursuing car. Something's up.
What is it?
Larry Mason has just turned his truck off the main highway.
What's your location now?
A dirt road, alternate 6A, leading up into the mountains.
It's an even better spot for a planned hijacking than the highway, Peter. Keep following. Keep me informed.
Peters to Harding. Larry Mason finished his run to the Bay City Arsenal without incident.
You mean nothing unusual happened on that long detour he took through the mountains?
Not a thing, Dave.
The driver doesn't take a truckload of high explosive on a dangerous detour just for the thrill. Stick close to him. Let's see what he does next.
Dave. Hey, Dave, wake up.
Oh, Peters, I guess I dozed off in my chair waiting all night for you to call again. Hey, what are you doing back here in Pittsburgh?
I tailed Mason all the way back from Bay City.
No trouble?
Admittedly, it looked like a hijack setup at first, but nothing happened. He came back, left his truck in the main garage, and went home.
Larry Mason is a very puzzling young man. You'll have to find some way of unpuzzling him.
Sorry I woke you, Carol.
Oh, it's you, Larry. You said you wouldn't be back from Bay City until tomorrow.
Well, we have no phone here. I couldn't call you.
Darling, what are you doing?
Where's my suitcase?
Well, it's in your closet.
I'll get it.
Larry, what's wrong?
Well, I'm just taking my clothes.
Larry, please, what's happened? Larry, you're in trouble.
No, there's no trouble. I'm just fed up with Pittsburgh.
That's not true. You're running out on me, aren't you? Oh,
Larry. Carol, no. Honest, honey, I wasn't running. Listen, Carol, I'm in a jam. See, I have to get out of Pittsburgh now, tonight.
I don't care what it is, darling. If you'll just tell me.
Well, there's no time to tell you. Will you come with me?
Larry, you know I will.
Oh, of all times not to have a phone. Look, I'll go down to the Crescent Airport and get tickets now, fast.
All right.
You pack, grab a taxi, and meet me at the airport as soon as you can.
Yes.
And don't worry, honey. Everything's going to be fine. Just fine.
Taxi! Taxi! Crescent Airport driver, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, will you help me with some suitcases? They're on the porch.
Mason, going someplace?
What? Why, yes. Who are you?
Get in the cab.
Just a minute. I
told you to get in.
Driver, this man, stop him.
Okay, pal, let's go. All right.
Let me out of here. Do you hear me?
Not yet, Mrs. Mason.
Where are you taking me? What do you want?
I want you to give a message to your husband.
Larry?
A special kind of message, Mrs. Mason. The kind your husband will understand.
What are you talking about?
Mrs. Mason, the next time your husband is told to do something, it's got to be done right.
But
No side roads, no stand-ups. The next time he delivers, or something fatal will happen to you, to him too. That's the message. Now, Mrs. Mason, just make sure he gets the message straight.
No, push me out, please!
Back to Counterspy in a moment. But first...
Pepsi-Cola, it's a spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lots more value, lots more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
More and more, among fellows and girls, among mothers and dads, you hear that sane and sensible question. Why take less when Pepsi is best? No budget, no allowance ever had a better friend than tangy, sparkling Pepsi-Cola. Because one big 12-ounce Pepsi bottle gives you 2 delicious drinks. That's twice as much tangy taste, twice as much delicious Pepsi, to go just twice as far. That's why more and more families say, why take less when Pepsi is best? Yes, families like yours and mine. Families all over America. They're all saying, why take less when Pepsi is best?
Pepsi-Cola so delicious and each bottle makes 2 drinks. It is certainly the cola for the purchaser who thinks everybody's drinking Pepsi. Just compare it with the rest. So much more and so much finer. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Today, tomorrow, always. Get America's biggest cola value. Take home a carton of 6 big Pepsi bottles. Insist on Pepsi at the store. And say Pepsi at the fountain. Say Pepsi at the stand. Say Pepsi. Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember...
Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Now, back to Counterspy.
7 Continental Airlines, Pittsburgh to St. Louis, now loading at gate 4.
Hello, Larry.
Oh, Mr. Peters.
Mr. Harding's in that car over there. He wants to talk with you.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry.
Larry, Mr. Harding said he wanted to talk to you.
Well, okay.
All right, get in. Hello, Larry. I'm afraid you're not leaving town, Larry.
What?
I saw you buy 2 plane tickets 10 minutes ago.
So you saw me buy tickets. Is that a crime?
Larry, you're a material witness in a murder case. I could have you held in custody for this.
Yes, I guess you could.
But I'm not going to. Instead, we're going back to your home. When we get there, you and your wife and I...
My wife? She's got nothing to do with all this.
Larry, a few hours ago, we received certain files. They explain some of your recent actions. Now I want you to be completely honest with me.
I was, right along.
Larry, we not only want to clean up this hijack case and Vince Dugan's murderer, but we also want to help you and Mrs. Mason.
I tell you, she doesn't know anything about this.
Emergency flash, Mr. Harding. Peters, car C8, go ahead.
Conway, where are you now, Peters?
Right outside Crescent Airport with Mr. Harding.
Good. On that hijacking case, we just got a flash from City Hospital. A woman identified as Mrs. Larry Mason
Carol.
was just brought into the emergency ward. She was beaten and thrown from a moving car.
Oh,
She said her husband was at the airport. I knew you'd gone out there.
What's Mrs. Mason's condition, Conway?
Very serious. She's been given sedatives. Can you locate Larry Mason there?
He's right with us. We'll head for the hospital. Step on it, Peter. Use your firearm.
Right.
Larry, now will you cooperate with us?
Well, the dirty, rotten skunks.
All along you've been trying to protect your wife, haven't you?
That's right.
She didn't know about your record, did she?
You know now I was a con. No, I never told Carol, and I was sure a jerk not to. Okay, Mr. Harding, how do you want me to help?
After we see your wife, I think you can start working back in that garage.
Hey, Larry, I want to talk to you.
Yes, Steve?
Some stunt you pulled taking a detour last night and ducking the hijack setup.
I thought it was a good stunt.
We're giving you one more chance. For your sake, don't disappoint Mr. Marengo again.
What's the deal?
I'm scheduling you to take a nitro load to the Western Arsenal tonight.
What road?
Route 63 through the Elder Valley. Mr. Marengo's boys will be waiting for you in the valley. By the way, Larry, I'm sorry about what happened to that pretty missus of yours.
Someday I'm going to flatten your face for that, so help me.
Oh, it wasn't my doing. It was Marengo's idea.
Well, after this deal, Steve, we're through.
Yeah, sure, Larry. Tonight you meet the boys in the Elder Valley, and then we're through. There's the lights on Mason's truck, Mr. Marengo. Stopped down there in the valley. Your boys signaled it?
Yes, Steve.
See, I told you Larry Mason would show this time.
Lucky for you. My business is too rich to take chances.
Chances?
I've decided the truck will not be hijacked.
Not after I set everything up and all your boys down there got to do is go to work?
You don't understand. It'll only appear that the truck wasn't hijacked.
I don't get you, Mr. Marengo.
Right now, Sid Barlow and the rest of my men are removing most of the powder from that truck, as I originally planned. What they leave will be used to destroy the truck and Larry Mason.
Kill Larry Mason? Hey, it'll look like an accident, huh?
And we won't have to worry anymore about trusting him or not. Both he and the truck will be blown to bits.
Mr. Marengo, this is something I gotta see.
Oh, you'll see it, Steve. You and I both will. Flashing the signal to me from up here. Everything's ready.
Now, huh?
Yes, Steve. In a moment.
We shouldn't go near that exploded truck, Mr. Marengo. Those other cars come along.
Then we just act like horrified witnesses. Here's the road.
And here's what's left of the truck.
Careful.
Huh?
Not all of the explosives may have gone up at once. See, there's still some flames.
Some flames there, but not much truck.
A very powerful explosive. Is it not, Steve?
I'll say. Hey, are your boys supposed to be close by with the other cans of explosive?
Yes. Yes, but Barlow should be at this spot to report to me.
Why isn't he here? Hey, take another look at the wreckage.
What's the matter?
Here's where the driver's cab was. Only where's Larry? Where's his body?
Peculiar, Steve. Very peculiar.
First your boys, no sign of them. Then no sign of Larry.
Don't understand it.
You sure nothing could have gone wrong?
My orders were clear. Hijack the truck, remove most of the explosive, blow up the truck and Larry Mason with the rest.
Yeah, but if Larry's dead, where is he?
Steve, I'm over here.
Rancho. Did you hear that? That was Larry.
What? Impossible.
I know his voice. He's alive. Over behind those trees.
Get your gun out.
I got it. I tried to get him to show himself. When he does shoot, leave it to me. Larry?
What do you want, Marengo?
We want to talk to you. Come out.
I'm hurt. I can't move. You got to go with me.
Come on, Steve. Where are you exactly, Larry?
You'll find out, but not till Steve puts away his gun.
Not a chance. No, Steve. Do it. We can get it out again quickly when we get closer. Now, come on.
Stop where you are.
Why, what's the matter, Larry?
I've got a gun, too. Stay where you are, right in that patch of moonlight where I can see you plainly. Now, first, we're going to get a couple of things straight.
What's he trying to do? Quiet. What is it, Larry?
You've got to remember, I know that Sid Barlow murdered Vince Dugan.
Yes, but what of it?
And I know you and Steve got sore because I was spoiling your hijack racket. You tried to kill me tonight by blowing up my truck.
That was all a mistake, Larry. From now on, we'll be good friends and trust each other.
Okay, Marengo, Steve, hands in the air.
What?
Counterspy, Marengo, you're surrounded.
Counterspy, the trick.
All right, get their guns, Peter.
Right.
I'll handle Marengo.
No, Marengo. All right, see, my hands are down.
All right, Larry, leave him alone.
There he is, Mr. Harding, a nice murdering quit.
You've done a good job all around, Larry, but you can leave him to us.
He squealed. He trapped us.
Marengo, Steve, your whole plan went wrong. After we took your triggerman Barlow and the rest of your mob, we set off that explosion.
You? What?
Exactly as you had planned, except that Larry left the truck first. From the things you admitted to him a moment ago, we've got enough to send you and all your gang away for the rest of your lives.
When your friends drop in, be generous, but be thrifty, too. Serve plenty of delicious Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi's big 12-ounce bottle gives you not just one sparkling glassful, but two. Get a carton of 6 and serve 12 delicious drinks. Yes, Pepsi is America's biggest cola value. You get twice the tangy taste, twice the refreshment, twice the Pepsi. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
Pepsi-Cola, it's a spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lots more value, lots more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same station, to Counterspy. Listen next Thursday for the exciting Counterspy case of the Murmured Million.
The seashore rendezvous between two men that changed the lives of thousands of women. The lone wolf swindler who demonstrated that words speak louder than actions. And the enormous lips that accused a racketeer a quarter-mile away. Be sure to listen Thursday, day after tomorrow, to
The Case of the Murmured Million on Counterspy. Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer with music by Rosa Rio. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production for Pepsi-Cola. Enjoy some Pepsi ice cold tonight. Pepsi-Cola, P-E-P-S-I, that's your smartest cola buy. Pepsi-Cola presents Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy, calling Washington.
United States specially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad.
Tonight, the case of the Murmured Millions. Another Counterspy report to the American people, brought to you each Tuesday and Thursday by Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi-Cola hits the spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot.
That's right, you heard what they said. 2 full glasses of sparkling Pepsi from 1 big 12-ounce bottle. You're getting an extra glassful. And what a delicious glassful. The most refreshing, delightful cola that ever tickled your taste. You can't top Pepsi's tangy flavor. And that big, big bottle saves you money, goes twice as far. Pepsi is America's big, big favorite. And America's biggest cola value. So why take less when Pepsi is best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
why take less when Pepsi is best?
And now to Counterspy.
Hello? Oh, yeah, Tony. With the same guy? Boy, that little two-timing. Where are you now? Oh, downstairs in the lobby. Is she on her way up? No, you don't have to tail her anymore. I got enough for a nice big burn. Okay, ring off. Dang. I learned it.
Well, Rocky, I got something I want to talk to you about.
Me first, Dad. I got something I want to give you.
Well, it's about time. I've been due for...
You've been due for this for a long time.
Rocky!
No babe makes a girth out of Rocky.
Oh, Rocky, don't!
Timing me for a 2-bit con man.
Oh! Oh, stop it, Rocky. Stop it, I tell you.
Don't tell me nothing. I know it all. Nobody pulls the wool over Rocky's eyes.
Oh!
He's good, this guy, Norman. Huh? Worth taking a beating for. He's that good at playing around.
Oh, no, Rocky, no, please. Please, this was business, strictly business.
You know what I think of that kind of business?
Oh! Listen. It's for you I did it. He wants to meet you. It isn't me.
That's good. That's really good. He wants to meet me so he plays footsie with my dog. I'd only come up here I got an address.
Oh, no, Rocky. Will you listen, please? No more.
Okay, I got time. Speak your piece once and good. Because then I'm going to kick your teeth in.
Oh, listen. He wants to see you. We've got a proposition. I was going to set up a date when you started.
Not the fairy tale, Dad. I looked him up. He's a con man, a lone wolf. What does he want from me?
He's got a deal he needs your syndicate behind, a big one.
Yeah?
He wants me to bring you to him 2:00 this afternoon. A beach on the south shore of Long Island.
A beach?
Yeah, he don't want to take no chance on anybody overhearing.
Oh, sharp cookie, huh?
Oh, Rocky. Rocky, you believe me, don't you?
Maybe yes, maybe no. But we'll keep that date. Yeah, I like that beach idea. Because if this ain't level, Dot, I'll see that you and the boyfriend go for a long swim. One way.
That's him, Rocky, down on the beach. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, Mr. Norman.
Hello, Dorothy.
Rocky, this is Bill Norman. Bill, Rocky Dunn.
Hiya.
How do you do?
Well, let's hear your story, Norman, and it better be good. I ain't in the habit of being dragged 15 miles from nowhere just to talk to a guy.
All right, Mr. Dunn. Dorothy, would you mind taking a walk?
Look, fella, that's part of my business. This is level, and anything you tell me, I'll tell her anyhow.
That's perfectly all right with me. I just don't want her to hear what we say.
What kind of sense does that make?
Simple. If anything should go wrong and we should be arrested, always a possibility. You could testify only to what you heard, not what Rocky told you, I
Do
said.
you think that I would...
No, not at all, Dorothy, not at all. I just don't like to take chances.
Smart character. I'm getting interested. Go on, Doc, take a walk.
Okay.
All right, Norman, start talking.
Well, first, you'd like to know a little bit about me, wouldn't you?
No, I've been doing a little checking. William Norman, alias Walter Nolan, con man, swindler, 3 to 5 year stretch in the Harrisville pen, year at Cluton prison.
And strictly a lone wolf in operation.
Pretty complete.
Yeah. Now, what's the pitch?
$5 to $10 million a year, net.
Big pitch.
You're interested?
I got to catch his mitt, start throwing.
It's a refinement of the protection racket.
Protection? We got out of that in the 30s. It's too risky. The cops and the good citizens get mad fast.
This isn't risky. I don't like to take chances. That's why I met you out here on the beach. You can't wire the air and the sea.
Huge. What do you want from me? I'm not forgetting you. Got a rep as a lone wolf.
And I'd keep it. Except that now I need your organization.
Why?
You've got men in most of the big cities in the country, haven't you?
That's right. Takes a big outfit to run a gambling operation, and they're tough enough to run any protection racket ever invented.
There'll be no violence at all attached to this. I don't like force. You can make more with brains.
What do the boys do, then?
Wreck a $20 million corporation.
20 million? For that, you'd need an army.
Not if you do it with words instead of violence. You still interested?
Yeah, I always like to hear a guy talk in millions. What's the name of this outfit we're going to wreck?
We? In already?
Could be. If the setup's as sure as you are of yourself.
It is. The name of the outfit is the Double Circle Products Corporation.
Oh.
Now, you just sit down and be comfortable, and I'll tell you how Mr. Blake, the president of Double Circle, is going to help us turn a murmur into millions.
All right, Mr. Norman, you've got 5 minutes of my time. Make it brief and to the point. I'm a busy man.
All right, Mr. Blake. I'm here to sell you the services of my organization, Norman Associates, Public Relations.
You're 5 years too late. I already have a public relations agency.
Right, Mr. Blake. But they go after the press, radio, mediums of mass communication. I go directly to the people themselves.
Well, that's not very clear.
Your products go into practically every American home. Suppose the public should get the idea that Double Circle merchandise is inferior.
What?
Possibly dangerous. And start talking about it. You could lose a lot of business.
Nonsense. There's not a thing wrong with Double Circle products, and there never will be. You've got nothing to sell, Mr. Norman. And you've wasted enough of my time already. I'm satisfied with my present public relations.
I was afraid you'd say that, Mr. Blake. I'm sorry, because I offer my services only once.
I assure you that's been enough, Mr. Norman.
I'd like you to remember that, Mr. Blake. Just in case anything should happen to your concern. Dorothy? No last names, please. Will you tell our mutual friend to put our plan into operation? Yeah. Just as I outlined. Subways, railroad stations, ferries, wherever people gather. That's right. I'll keep in touch with you. Goodbye.
These subways are getting more crowded every day.
Yeah.
Your wife any better, Tony?
Worse, Mike. Hands are all burnt, blistered.
Huh?
Doctor says it was that stuff she was using made by the Double Circle Company.
Ooh, bad, huh?
Well, you saw what it did to her hands. We'll never buy Double Circle again.
Mabel, did you hear that? Double Circle. I bought some of that junk myself.
Hello, Jeff. Where's the wife? Thought she was going to the theater with us.
Yeah, she can't. She got some kind of metal poison and using that Double Circle product. I'm going to sue that company.
Yeah, arsenic. And the stuff was made by Double Circle. I heard it from the man whose wife was poisoned.
Don't try to sell me double circle. I'm no dope.
Jane, take my advice. Don't go near that double circle stuff. It's poison.
Double circle sure is good if you want to drop dead quick.
I wouldn't buy double circle, not if they gave me the company.
You hear about double circle products? They ought to be sued for selling them.
It's poison.
If you want to drop dead quick.
I won't buy double circle.
They ought to be sued.
It's poison, asshole. Poison.
Blake speaking. What is it? More cancellations? From where now? The West Coast. Look, we've simply got to put more pressure on our salesmen. I know all about the rumors. We're spending every cent we can to combat them, but we can't keep it up in the face of these cancellations. 2 more weeks and we'll be forced to sell out.
From Federal Securities Commission to David Harding, Chief, United States Counterspies. Request preliminary investigation into failure of Double Circle Products Corporation. Stockholders' loss enormous. Evidence of malfeasance or fraud should be forwarded to us for prosecution.
4 months, Mr. Harding, that's all. 4 months and a $20 million business practically wiped out. We just have to sell with cancellations outnumbering orders by 4 to 1.
Well, Mr. Blake, about those rumors about your product.
They're not true. They never were true, and they're not true today.
We know that, Mr. Blake. They couldn't be. The federal trade laws protect consumers against the sale of anything harmful.
Well, I wish more people were aware of that, Mr. Peters.
Well, nevertheless, Mr. Blake, rumors have to spring from someplace. Now, have you any idea at all how they started?
I've been thinking about that.
Your competitors?
Mr. Peters, free enterprise is a competitive system, but there are rules and ethics. Every one of my competitors offered to help me weather this, but it was no use.
Well, then what were you thinking, Mr. Blake?
Oh, what's the use? You can't arrest a rumor.
If it's criminal slander and you can prove who started it, you can.
Proof? I can't prove anything.
But you suspect something, Mr. Blake.
I do, Mr. Peters.
Well, then we'd like to know those suspicions.
All right, Mr. Harding. I'll give you my suspicions in one name. William Norman.
Norman?
Yes, he runs an outfit called Norman Associates, Public Relations. He predicted this might happen when he tried to sell me his services.
Oh, a prophet, huh?
A very pointed prophet, because he underscored his prediction.
When the rumors started, did you try to get in touch with him?
Well, not at first, Mr. Peters, but later on I did. In fact, I offered to retain his services to see if that would stop the rumors.
But he wasn't for hire then, was he?
How did you know, Mr. Harding?
Well, he'd have been stupid if he had been. It's easy enough to start gossip, but almost impossible to stop it.
Suppose this Norman did start those rumors, Chief. It'll be just as impossible to prove it, won't it?
Well, perhaps not. But before we jump to any conclusions, I want to know more about William Norman.
Well, my secretary has his address and phone number, Mr. Harding.
I get it, Peters. And put Norman's name through the works. I want to know everything about him, from the day he was born until the day you hand me your report.
Back to Counterspy in a moment. But first...
Pepsi-Cola, hits the spot, truthful glasses, that's a lot. Lots more value, lots more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
More and more, among fellows and girls, among mothers and dads, you hear that sane and sensible question, why take less when Pepsi's best? No budget, no allowance ever had a better friend than tangy, sparkling Pepsi-Cola. Because one big 12-ounce Pepsi bottle gives you 2 delicious drinks. That's twice as much tangy taste, twice as much delicious Pepsi to go just twice as far. That's why more and more families say, why take less when Pepsi is best? Yes, families like yours and mine. Families all over America. They're all saying, why take less when Pepsi is best?
Pepsi-Cola so delicious, and each bottle makes 2 drinks. It is certainly the cola for the purchaser who thinks everybody's drinking Pepsi. Just compare it with the rest. So much more and so much finer. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Today, tomorrow, always. Get America's biggest cola value. Take home a carton of 6 big Pepsi bottles. Insist on Pepsi at the store. And say Pepsi at the fountain. Say Pepsi at the stand. Say Pepsi. Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
why take less when Pepsi's best?
Now back to Counterspy. Bill Norman, the immaculate racketeer, has just put his proposition to another important businessman.
Mr. Norman, it's simply no use. This company is satisfied with its present public relations setup.
It's funny. That's the same thing Mr. Blake said to me.
Blake?
For the Double Circle Corporation. You read about their failure and forced sale, I imagine?
Yes, I did.
He might have forestalled all those nasty rumors if he'd employed the services of an alert public relations agency like mine.
I'm not sure I like what you're saying.
Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying to sell you.
Make your sales point a little clearer.
I don't like talking business in offices. Suppose we go for a drive. I have my car downstairs.
Suppose I don't.
Well, it's a free country. Do as you choose. Blake did.
Yes.
Well, I hope you don't have the same difficulties. Good day.
Wait a minute. I think I will go for that drive.
Wise decision.
I want to see all your cards.
I'd be glad to show them to you. As long as there are no kibitzers around. Let's go, Mr. Sanford.
All right, Mr. Norman, let's have your proposition.
Not here, Mr. Sanford. I even suspect my own car. Someone may have wired it. We'll just go for a little walk in this field by the road, and then talk.
Whatever you say. What are you doing?
Just making sure you're not concealing anything.
What do you mean?
I once made a record unwittingly. Concealed microphone. They played it in court. Liked my voice so much, they gave me a year's engagement in a penitentiary. I don't want a return date.
Well, now you're becoming candid.
I'll do even better. I'll become blunt. The rumors that caused the failure of the Double Circle Corporation. I started them and spread them.
That's quite an admission.
Isn't it?
Suppose I repeated it to the authorities.
We have no witnesses. I'd simply deny it and then sue you for slander and defamation of character, on top of which rumors about your products would start. And with what your company sells, think of the pleasant tales I could invent.
Just a dressed-up version of the protection racket, huh?
Well put, Mr. Sanford. Only you protect yourself against words instead of violence.
And how much would this cost the corporation?
1% of your gross business.
1%? Are you crazy? We do nearly $50 million a year.
I know. That's what makes 1% so reasonable for my kind of public relations.
$500,000? Well, I can't say yes or no just like that.
You can't say no. But I'll give you time to figure out a way to say yes. Call me the first of the week. We'll go for another drive and complete our business.
Here it is, Mr. Harding. A report on William Norman. Complete. From the day of his birth, September 12th, 1911, up to and including yesterday when he called on Colton Sanford of the Sanford Beauty Corporation.
Sanford. Any of our agents seen Sanford yet?
No, not yet.
Well, then we will. I want to find out what Norman said to him. Well, now, what about Norman's background?
Well, he served time in 2 state penitentiaries. It would have been more except he's had good lawyers. He's been a confidence man from the age of 22.
And suddenly he blossoms out into a public relations expert. Blake had a good foundation for his suspicions.
Yes, Dave, but he was right about proof. There's not a thing to connect Norman with the rumors that ruined Double Circle unless we tried to trace them back.
Oh, impossible. We'd be licked before we started. Besides, even if through some miracle we did trace them to Norman, it wouldn't prove a thing. He'd just say he heard them somewhere else. No, our best bet is to start at the source. Interview Sanford. Find out what Norman told him.
Okay, Chief, but Norman would hardly admit to Sanford that he was the cause of Blake's bankruptcy.
All wrong, Peters. If what we suspect is true, Norman had to admit it.
What do you mean?
Well, that's the flaw in any protection racket. The crook has to reveal himself to his victim in order to extort money. Nobody'd pay off otherwise. Now, our job is to get Norman to reveal himself in the presence of a witness or a microphone well hidden. And Mr. Sanford is going to help us do just that.
That's right, Mr. Harding. You and Mr. Peters have reconstructed the whole picture.
Norman definitely admitted he did the Blake job.
Admitted he boasted about it. But if you've got any idea about my testifying in court, forget it. It'd be my word against his, and you couldn't convict him without supporting evidence.
Well, if we got that supporting evidence, you'd testify, wouldn't you, Mr. Sanford?
With pleasure. But how are you going to get it? I told you Norman won't talk with a third party around. I told you about his searching me.
Norman sounds even smarter than his record indicates.
Well, perhaps too smart, Peters. Mr. Sanford, you say Norman didn't start talking until you were well away from his car.
That's right. He wasn't taking any chances on eavesdroppers.
When you meet him again, it's supposed to be the same setup, right?
Yes.
Same place?
Well, I don't know. The last time we drove around, he just seemed to stop at the first convenient country field.
Well, that gives us no chance at all to stake out microphones and recorders.
Maybe we can do it another way.
Well, how, Mr. Harding? You want proof that will stand up in court. The only way you'll get it is from Norman's own lips.
Right, Mr. Sanford. That's just where I intend to get it. When are you supposed to meet him?
The next 2 or 3 days. I call him to set the time.
Okay. Make sure it's daylight. And as for the date, Peters, call the Meteorological Bureau in Washington. Tell them to give you as positive a forecast as they can on the weather for the next 3 days. Now, Mr. Sanford.
Yes, Mr. Harding.
You'll meet Norman on the nicest day of the 3.
Well, what are you going to do, Mr. Harding?
Just what you suggested. Convict Norman from his own lips.
You certainly picked peculiar places to meet, Mr. Norman.
What's wrong with the beach? Pleasant breeze, nice surroundings. Can you think of a better place to do business?
You've got a point.
If we do business. Do we?
Look, how do I know you're not just cashing in on Blake's bad luck? Maybe you had nothing to do with the rumors that ruined him. After all, a rumor campaign like that would take a lot of men and money, a big organization.
You're right, Mr. Sanford. And I've got an organization behind me. One of the biggest syndicates in the country. The Syndicate of Rocky Dunn.
Rocky Dunn?
Yeah, so you read the papers. Well, I give the word, and in 2 hours, his men will be spreading rumors across the country about every product you make. Now, do you pay off, or do I give the word?
I'd still like more proof.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. Don't go.
I don't like to waste my time.
I know how rumors can spread. Every now and then, from nowhere, comes the rumor that some famous person is dead.
So?
Let's pick a name. Say, Bert Clancy, the baseball player. He's in good health. If I hear he's dead from some public source, then we can do business.
That's not bad, Mr. Sanford. In fact, it's good enough for me to file for future use.
Then it's a deal?
Yeah. And when you hear Clancy's dead, call me. I'll come around to collect my first quarterly retainer.
Mr. Norman?
Yes?
This is Colton Sanford. I just heard a rumor that Bert Clancy died.
So did I. Funny how those things start, isn't it?
Isn't it? Incidentally, we've decided to retain your firm for public relations.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
If you'll drop around our conference room in about an hour, our vice president in charge of personnel will outline the company policies.
Oh?
And, of course, give you your first quarterly retainer.
Splendid. I'll be very interested in learning the company policy.
1 hour, then. Goodbye.
Right in here, Mr. Norman. I'm sorry Mr. Sanford was called away.
He left a note about the retainer, I hope.
Oh, naturally. We'll pick it up in accounting. After you've seen the orientation film, we like to show all new executives.
Well, let's get to it then.
Of course. Oh, this is Mr. Thurman. He'll run the projector and interpret.
Hello?
How do you do? Or shall we start?
Well, I'm expecting to... Oh, that must be the... Excuse me. Come in.
After you, Rocky.
Now, listen, I don't want it.
What? Mr. Dunn.
You know each other?
Well, yes, but I wasn't aware that Mr. Dunn was connected with your company.
I thought he was connected with your firm.
Hey, what is this double talk? Don't you know who this guy is, Norman?
I don't think I got the name.
I didn't give it, but it's Harding, David Harding.
The Counterspy, Norman. It's some kind of a pinch.
Keep quiet, Mr. Dunn. I'm sure Mr. Harding will explain the meaning of this himself.
With pleasure. But first, I'd like you to look at some moving pictures, Mr. Norman. Peters, will you turn out the lights and stay with Rocky?
Right, Chief.
Thurman, start the projector.
Yes, sir.
Recognize yourself, Mr. Norman?
Yes. I must say I photographed better than Mr. Sanford.
Hey, look, I don't
Rocky.
I thought silent pictures were passé.
Well, not always. Notice this next shot, the way the camera zooms in for a close-up. Telephoto lens.
Oh, yes, Now, this is all very interesting. Is there any point?
Definitely, Mr. Norman. I'm arresting you for extortion, criminal slander, and whatever other counts we can dig up against you.
On the basis of this film?
Yes.
It's silent, Mr. Harding. I was discussing legitimate business with Mr. Sanford when you took them, and if he says different, he's a liar.
The pictures say different. You'll notice how Mr. Sanford kept moving around to keep your face toward one of our cameras. That had a purpose.
I don't bluff easy, Mr. Harding.
You don't have to. I told you Mr. Thurman was the interpreter. What's Norman saying on the screen now, Thurman?
I've got an organization behind me. One of the biggest syndicates in the country. The Syndicate of Rocky Dunn.
What? That's how we picked Rocky up.
Smart guy, huh, Norman? You blabbering little nut.
Hold him, Cut it, Rocky.
I'll show you, you fool. Don't you see it's a
Rocky.
Rocky always had a reputation for a quick trigger temper.
Now, look here, Mr. Harding.
Why don't you give it up, Norman? Mr. Thurman is a lip reader.
Lip reader?
Yes, and he'll appear in court, together with a dozen other expert lip readers to testify to every word you said.
On top of which we've got Rocky in as a pickup order out for his girlfriend, Dot, to round out our case.
Lip reader?
That's right, Norman. Come on, Peters, let's get him to headquarters. Looks like that's the only way we'll convince him this arrest is not a rumor, but a fact.
When your friends drop in, be generous, but be thrifty, too. Serve plenty of delicious Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi's big 12-ounce bottle gives you not just one sparkling glassful, but two. Get a carton of 6 and serve 12 delicious drinks. Yes, Pepsi is America's biggest cola value. You get twice the tangy taste, twice the refreshment, twice the Pepsi. So why take less when Pepsi's best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember...
Pepsi-Cola, hits will stop. Truthful prices, that's a lot. Lots more value, lots more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same station to Counterspy. Listen next Tuesday for the exciting Counterspy case of the Statue of Death.
The silky-coated carrier that outsmarted an electric eye. The gift of appreciation that caused the death of an innocent woman. And the clicking guardian that halted 2 international agents who carried molecules of murder. Be sure to be tuned in next Tuesday to
the case of the Statue of Death on Counterspy. Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York, was directed by William M. Sweets, and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer, with music by Rosa Rio. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production for Pepsi-Cola. Enjoy some Pepsi, ice cold tonight.